Let me first start by telling you that each and everything I'm going to talk about in this video, I can prove and will prove if necessary, because it happened to me, and it's been happening to me for 7 years, 8 years. And this is just absurd. So let's just talk about the first problem that's listed in regards to customs. Okay? Let me tell you what I've gone through to order one pair of boots from Spain on March 7th of 2023. First thing I went through is the order of paying for the boots. The boots themselves are Merrell. Excellent, excellent, excellent product. Merrell boots. Probably the best boots I've ever owned, considering they're basically good for hiking and camping. They have a Gore-Tex inner sole that wicks out the water. The shoes are comfortable, they're light. So I've had Merrell shoes before over the last 30 years. They are an excellent quality. Probably on par with Salomon, certainly better than Adidas. There's no doubt. Adidas boots maybe last me 1 year. The Merrells last 2 or 3 years. The Salomons last 2 or 3 years as well, but Salomon does not carry a size 14. And because I have flat feet and my feet are wide, I needed a size 14. So, from a company called Trek, T-R-E-K-K, Trek, N-I-N-N, in Spain. After a year and a half, Daisy and I looking online for a size 14 half boot, size 14 minimum, which is a size 48 European, and capable of being delivered to the Philippines. In March, on March 7th, I found a pair of boots from Trekken, because every boot company will show you a size 14, but when you order the boot, they say out of stock. So for years, I've been getting it out of stock. Daisy may have made 100 phone calls to Cebu for size 14 boots 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, nobody in Cebu. And each person tells you, just go to Manila, sir. Just go to Manila. So you would have to spend $200 on plane fare and hotels for one person to go to Manila to look for boots, because they won't call up their parent company. But moving on. This boot I ordered from Trekken on March 7th. The date of delivery for the boot from Trekken, T-R-E-K-K, and then space I-N-N. The delivery date is March 17th, 16th, but should be delivered on the 17th. The boot will appear in the Philippines on the 16th. So that's 9 days. So I pay, the boots were $175. They were listed on sale for $122. I used my credit card, and then I bought the boots, and it listed that the boots will be there on the 16th, 9 days. And they were. They arrived in the Philippines on March 16th. And they arrived in Manila in customs on March 16th. So that part, the company kept their agreement to have the boots delivered ASAP, and they were. I didn't pay any extra. But I did pay 2,000 plus pesos for the postage to get them from Manila to my door to door. That's what I paid. About $40, 2,000 pesos. About $40. It was 2,000 pesos. I call up April 1st. Where are my boots? I send them an email. Your boots are in the Philippines, sir, because you track the number, it says they're in the Philippines. Well, I got that, and I send back, I think the guy's name was Brian, whatever his name was. I talked to 6 different people since April 1st, let's say. Your boots are in the Philippines, so they're in customs. Just wait a while. He didn't say that, but you'll have to be patient. Customs can take 30 days. So that was April. On April 20th or thereabouts, I said, okay, I've waited 30 days. Where are my boots? We'll track them down. Well, they couldn't track them down. They're in customs in Manila. Comes May, they're in Manila, in customs. I send more correspondence back and forth. They always answer the correspondence with your boots are in transit, which you can see with the tracking number. Your boots are in transit in customs in Manila. So last week, Monday or Tuesday, I send them a letter. I still haven't received my boots. Can you please track them down? So they could not. They can only say it was in customs. Friday, so March 7th, April 7th is 30 days. But let's just go to the 16th, because that's when they arrived in the Philippines. So April 16th is 30 days. May 16th is 60 days. June 16th is 90 days. And on June 19th, 93 days after they arrived in the Philippines, this is a broken customs situation. Nothing in the world should take 90 days. It's a package. This is the package. This little bag. It's a bag. It's just a plastic bag with 2 boots in it. It took 90 days, 93 days for them to clear this package through customs. So, I don't get a notice that the boots are in the post office. Now, I've called the post office before in Tagbilaran. They don't, with the code that Trekking gave me, they don't know where the boots are. They have no idea where the boots are. You know what I got to do? I got to read the comments, because maybe somebody has something interesting to say. And being that Lewis is here, the possibility just went way up for somebody to say something interesting. So give me a moment here. So 93 days. 93 days. 93 days from the time they got into the Philippines. I get a message on Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Right, 90 days when I worked for the state of Florida doing the excavation for sewer systems in the public schools in Marathon, and when I did the Hess gas station excavations for their tanks and water lines, 90 days was when you got your check. So you lay out all the money for 90 days and you get to charge them a little bit extra because you're waiting. You're funding their job. I would lay out thousands and thousands of dollars for the fuel and the transportation and hotels when I worked for the state of Florida. In fact, many thousands of dollars when I did the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station. 90 days is what the government... And then I worked there for 4 months. And then I had to wait 90 days after I submitted a final bill. I still had to wait 90 days, which 90 days is corporate. 90 days is what corporate... But I got to charge them an unrealistic amount of money because I had to go through government clearance and I had to be fingerprinted and background checks and stuff like that, because I was working on the radar towers in the tower itself, up on top, the ground wires and the computers. But 90 days. So Lewis is right about that. Thanks for stopping by, Louis. Now, Scott Del Fuego always has something good to say. Fazio has new boots. Those boots are made for walking. They are. That's just what he'll do on a limited basis. One of these days, those boots are going to walk all over. I guess anything is possible. So, these boots, on Friday, 93 days after they hit the Philippines, are in the post office, which took 1 day to get from Manila to Bohol. Now, I paid $40 for the shipping. Postage, $40 to the Philippines Postal Service for door-to-door service. So once they hit Manila, they clear customs. My $40 goes into effect. You bring them to my door. But no. I get a message on Friday at 4 o'clock. And you have to understand something. I know these people. I sit down and have dinner with them on a regular basis 2 or 3 times a year. Both men in the post office. Both. Not one. Not just Melvin, but the other fella as well. I won't mention his name. It's family of my landlord. So they both know me. They know where I live. They send me a message. Sir, your boots, your package has arrived. Please come and pick it up. There is $2.20 customs fees due on the package. And then there's a number that's associated with the message. It's a smart number, which we're going to talk about smart and globe in a minute, maybe an hour from now. So I send back a message. Melvin, who I know for 8 years, bring the boots to my house and I'll give you the money. I'm home Friday. And now they're closed on Saturday. Well, I don't get a response. So Monday morning, I send a message, Melvin, please give me a number that works, because the number you texted me, no one answers the phone. This is where the internet, the Google search internet in the Philippines, it's completely broken. It's completely broken. There's nothing good about internet search for telephone numbers or email addresses in the Philippines. It's completely shattered because of Smart and Globe's policies with canceling your phone number after 59 days if you don't leave a balance in the account. So I send another message out to Melvin at 8 o'clock Monday morning, yesterday. Please send me a phone number that works, a landline that works, or answer my text. Are you open today? Because if you Google, right now, you people go online and Google, is June 19th a holiday in the Philippines? Because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to immigration or to pay a vehicle bill or a water bill or something like that, and it's a holiday. Many times, maybe 8 or 10 times since I've been here. So in the Philippines, June 19th, yesterday, is a holiday. A non-working holiday on some islands in the Philippines. But it doesn't specify which islands. Okay, so I send out another message. Can you tell me if you're open today? Forget about delivering the package. No response. So next to the post office is the water department. The Poblacion Water Department, that's where I pay my water bill. So I call up that number and no one answers for maybe 10 or 15 tries. So from 8:15 to 8:45, I'm calling up the water department, but nobody answers, but they open at 8 o'clock. It says it on the website. So at 9 o'clock, water department picks up the phone. And I says, is this the water department in Poblacion, Paying loud. No, sir. Okay, so can you tell me where you are? Yes, sir, we're in Tagbilaran City. Okay, so you are open today, right? Public buildings are open? Yes, sir. It's not a holiday? Yes, sir, it's a holiday on some islands, but not Bohol. So, you would think on the internet it would tell you, okay, it doesn't tell you. That's broke. That's a broken function. When the internet says some islands have a non-working holiday, well, how do you know that? There's no way of knowing which islands it is, or they are. That's a broken system. So, now I know that water's open, Bohol water's open. Now I know the post office is open because they both state-sponsored. So I go. I just jump on a trike and I go up to the post office. And I get a number for the water department before I go to the post office. I was number 008. This is another... The system is broke. Take my word for it. What number are they servicing? 006. So I'm 2 numbers away, right? It's 9:35 a.m. I'm 2 numbers away. So the post office is 30 feet from the water department. I said, I'll be back. Yes, sir. So I go to the post office and I say, hey, Melvin, how you doing? Hey, Mike, good morning. You have my pack? Yes, sir, we have your package. I says, how come you didn't deliver it? Sir, you have a 112 peso customs service charge. I said, but normally if I have a customs charge on something, you deliver the package. Yes, sir. What changed, Melvin? Because to get into a theoretical conversation why they didn't deliver it, just what changed? What do you mean? Well, if I owe 112 pesos and you come to my house, you know I'm going to give it to you. Yes, sir. Okay, so please tell me why you didn't deliver the package. Yes, sir. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we didn't deliver the package. I know. Melvin. I know. So, are you willing to pay the 112 pesos, Michael? Yes, I'll pay that. Melvin, can you give me a phone number that I can call up for the post office? Sir, we gave you a number when we texted you. Yes, but I requested a number that you answer the phone on. Yes, sir. What do you mean, yes, sir? You don't answer the phone. Yes, sir. We didn't get the message. You didn't look at the phone. No, sir. Well, why do you have messages? It's a circular argument at this point. I'm going to drop it in about a minute. But I just want him to know that I would like to know why he doesn't answer the phone. And he doesn't know why he doesn't answer the phone. He has no idea. So, where are my boots? There they are. So, now, I get the boots. The boots are in my possession. I said, can you tell me why it took 93 days to get the... No, sir. You can call up customs in Manila. As if I didn't try that already. I called up customs in Manila about 30 times. They don't answer the phone at all, ever. Or the number's wrong. So, I get the boots. And now, I got to go to the water department, which I've been there 20 minutes. And I go to the window, and I said to Adela is the lady that services me. Mary retired. Adela services that counter. But Adela now moved up to managerial. So I said to Adela, are you ready for me yet? Because that's the only girl that I could see and talk to. No, sir, have a seat. Well, I'm there already 20 minutes, and it's only 2 numbers. Apparently they don't use computers in the water department. They don't use computers. They use oak cardboard. Cardboard they use. Like an oak tag. It's like a 7x9 oak tag, and it shows you the bill. And it's all written down in hand cursive or non-cursive script, and there's no computer system in the water department at all. So the problem was I don't know what the problem was. They couldn't find my card, which I've had a card there for 8 years. It's in alphabetical order, but they couldn't find it. So I wait, and about 5 minutes later they find it, and they tell me that I have a 500 peso plus balance, which would give me 30 months of free of water, because it's 15 pesos a month, so I could get about 30 months of water with my positive balance. So I give the lady another 500, so I don't have to go back there for 2 years, minimum 2 years. So she says thank you. And then I went to the hospital, and the man gives me a number. Okay, so moving back to the customs is broke. Broke. Customs doesn't answer the phone in Manila at all. They don't answer, there's no email address. And the reason that there's no answering of the phone can't be answered because no one answers the phone at the post office or customs. This system here in the Philippines is broken. If there's no phone number listed for the post office, the only way that you can get a phone number is to go online, and you get a number that they don't answer the phone for. So theoretically, there's no phone for the post office. That's the first problem with the post office. And now you have to get dressed and go to the post office to pay the 112 pesos. And I said, well, if I pay this 112 pesos, will you deliver the boots to my house? Yes, sir. But I took the boots. I saved them the trouble. A guy I know for 8 years that I sit down and have dinner with for 3 times a year at Nanai's house. He couldn't see his way clear to come and ask. Normally they do. Years ago they did. They would come to your house and tell you have a customs fee of 12 pesos, something like that. So that's broke. Now, moving on, the post office is broken system, no phone number, no return phone call, just come and get your stuff. Customs is broken. They don't answer the phone. There is no email that was ever answered. Now, moving on to Smart and Globe and the internet. The internet here is broken badly, badly broken, because of Smart and Globe, which in and of itself, they're basically Smart and Globe are basically the biggest criminal enterprise maybe in the world. And I'm not saying that facetiously. Smart phone, Globe phone, they have a lock on all phone services. Like, you can go from Globe to Sun or Globe to Talk and Text. It's all the same company. And Smart, you can have 3 options for Smart. But here's what happens when you get a phone number. Okay, which I can't use my phone, by the way. Well, I couldn't use it until last night. My phone was broke, but that's besides the point. We're going to go back to the internet being broke here in the Philippines in a minute. So, if you have a phone and you have a SIM card in your phone, I've had the same numbers since 2014. Because what happens is, if you let your SIM card lapse with no pesos in the account, you only have to have 1 peso in the account. But if you use that to make a text and you have 0 pesos in your account for 59 days, the phone number is removed from service forever. You can't get your phone number back, you can't buy it back, and they can't find it to give it back to you no matter what you offer. So forget that. So you always have to leave a positive balance in Globe and Smart in order for them to maintain your phone number as a viable number. So let's say, and we're going to go back to the internet in a moment. Why the internet is broke is because of Globe and Smart. Let's say you have, my number is, the last 2 digits of my number are 99. Okay, and my 99 number and my 98 number, which are Smart and Globe, I have a 10 peso balance. But after 1 year, that disappears. So you have to remember, if you don't use your phone, and I don't use my phone to make calls or texts ever. I don't use the phone for anything. But you have to remember that almost a year is up and you have to put a new load in the phone which lasts 1 year. So if you forget, you'll see a positive balance in your account for 20 pesos from January to December 25th. You'll see that balance. On January 1st, they take the money out of the account. They just take it from you. They just basically, they usurp your money because it's been in their account for a year collecting interest, but that's not enough. They have to take that money now. So they take the money. So January 1st comes, you don't check your balance, you have 0 balance. But when you have 0 balance, January 1st, February 1st is 30 days. March 1st comes along, that's 59 days because there's 28 days in February. So right around March 1st, you had no money in your account for 2 months. Your phone number disappears. No notice. No text. Your service is about to expire. You need to put a load. No, none of that. No notice whatsoever. You don't get a notice that they're going to take your phone. So let's say I have 250, 300 phone numbers in my phone. Let's say I lose that number. How many hundreds of hours does it take to retrieve those numbers? Unless you have them stored separately. But then you have to put them in a new SIM card. Or the ones that you need. You could spend 100 hours redoing your phone because they took your money. So what happens is people forget to load their phone, or they load it incorrectly. There's a load that lasts 24 hours. You put 20 pesos in, unlimited text for 24 hours, no phone calls. You put 50 pesos in, unlimited text for 48 hours and 30 minutes of phone calls. Put 350 pesos in, $7, and you get unlimited text and 3 hours of phone calls. But at the end of that 7 days, that load is expired. So what you have to do is put a load, a lifetime load, they call it, which is only 1 year. You put a lifetime load in. Something that's going to last 1 year. But after 1 year, they take that money away from you with no notice that they took the money and no notice that your telephone number is going to expire. That's a broken system. That's extortion. That's extortion to the highest level, that you have to keep putting money into a system whether you use it or not, and if you don't use it, they take it away from you. So you could have a $10 deposit in your phone, And after 1 year, they take that. And they do that to millions of people, millions of times, millions every day. They take their loads. You put 50 pesos in, it lasts 24 hours. You use 4 pesos for the texts, and they take 46 pesos from you without giving you anything for it, other than the option to use it. So this is a mad mafia extortion, that you can put 50 pesos in for 4 days or 2 days, depending on the load, and then it disappears. So all loads disappear after 1 or 2 or 7 days, except the lifetime load. They are stealing billions. I would bet the farm on billions and billions of pesos every month are not being used for loads, and they take it. And that's why when you go to the airport, every truck, every cargo container, and every side of every building says Smart or Globe on it, because they have billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of pesos that they're usurping. They're glomming it. It's a scam, I tell you. And they're doing nothing for it. They provide you with a service, but those pesos can be left in the phone for 5 years. In America, your load lasts until you use it. Here in the Philippines, 24, 48, or 7 days, and your load disappears. So let's go to the comment section. I really don't care much about the comments unless you're my friend. I really don't care about that. Hey, the Bantayan Brawler. Now, here's my friend. Who's on first? What's on second? They don't know. They don't care. They don't care. Do you think Melvin... Now, Melvin and I have been friends for years. We eat all the time together. He knows that I'm going to have the money. But I also paid $40 for postage. Take it out of the postage money. Dude, they don't know. Even for somebody they know, they don't go that extra mile or foot. They just send me a message, come and pick up your item. You owe 112 pesos. You know, it costed me more than 100 pesos to go there and come back. So and plus it took 2 hours. If I just went there and came back, it would be 2 hours there and back. By the time you walk up the block and get a trike and go to the post office and wait a few minutes and then come back and check to make sure that the order's right, it's 2 hours. They could have delivered the boots. No, they didn't do that. So going back to Smart and Globe, they are the biggest if you're talking about mafia in the Philippines, you're talking about Smart and Globe. Nobody steals more money from poor people, Philippines people, than Smart and Globe. Nobody. It's a racket that goes unchecked. And I wish I could say how many billions of pesos, but it's in the billions. Billions of pesos every month are usurped, glommed, scammed out of everybody's account. Now, how does that interfere with the internet? It interferes with the internet because after 60 days without having a load, you have a search engine that searches GPU enterprises in Cebu. GPU, whatever that is. It's just something I made up. So, you search GPU and you get a number, but the number is a dead number. But if you call that number on your cell phone, they charge you for the call. And here's the kicker. Here is the mafia aspect of Smart and Globe. If you buy a load for 100 pesos. Bantayan Brawler. Let me check the comments. They have a government-endorsed stranglehold on telecommunications. Exactly. The part of the oligarch system that runs third world countries. See, there's a reason Bantayan Brawler knows this stuff and puts it in different words. But basically, it's a mafia. It's an extension. It's the mafia of the Philippines. And here is the biggest scam in the history of telecommunications in the world, in my opinion. You have a load for 350 pesos that you put in, and you get 3 hours of talk time on Globe, because that's what I use on Smart. I use Smart on my cell phone, excuse me. You have 3 hours of talk time on Smart. But if you call a Globe number, any Globe number, or you text any Globe text, and you have a Smart load, which is, my phone is Smart, you pay for one text 32 pesos. Excuse me, 32 cents. 16 pesos for one text. But if you text Globe, you pay 1 peso. But if you call Smart, then you pay 64 cents a minute. But if you call Globe, if you have Smart and you call Globe, 64 cents per minute, and vice versa. Globe or Smart, Smart or Globe. So basically, you got to buy a plan that does Smart and Globe, which now goes from 20 pesos a day to 50 pesos a day, or 350 pesos a week. But one text costs 32 cents. 1 minute costs 64 cents. So in 10 minutes, it costs you $6.20 for a 10-minute phone call. And to make matters worse, my phone, the Galaxy 21 Plus phone, knows if I'm going to text or call a Globe number or a Smart number. And what does it do? When I start to make, when I open up Joe Blow's phone and I say I want to make a text, and Joe Blow's phone is Globe, right? It will choose Smart, which means I'm going to pay 32 cents for a text. It will pick the cellular provider that's not the one you want. So you have to remember what numbers are Smart and Globe. And there's no way, there's a certain amount of numbers, there's hundreds of prefixes. So in order to know, you have to write it down in the title of the person's name. Or if I am on Smart and I want to make a text to, I know for a fact that Daisy is on Smart, and I want to text Daisy, my Smart card is my number one SIM card. It will choose number 2. It's a little teeny button, little tiny little number 2 at the top right hand corner of the screen. So it chooses the wrong telecommunication system to send the text, so that it will charge you 32 cents for one text. But you can change it. You can push that button and change it back to number 1. But if you forget, it charges you 32 cents for a text, or 64 cents a minute. But it does this on purpose. You go to call Daisy, Daisy's on number 1 SIM card. It will choose number 2. If you don't remember, if you can't see it, if it's late at night and you don't have your glasses, you call up 64. The phones have a built-in program to choose the opposite network of the one you want to use. So my SIM card is smart, my load is smart, the phone knows that, Daisy's smart, and the phone chooses Globe. This is part and parcel of what Bentay Burla called the oligarch system. They set it up so that the phones that we buy here in the Philippines intentionally choose the wrong numbers. So you could make a 10-minute phone call on Smart to Daisy, and it's free because it's part of your 1-week program. But if you make a 10-minute phone call to Globe, well, then that's $6.20. That's a big difference. That's almost a day's wages for a Filipino. And they do it to everybody. It's not me. It's not limited to foreigners. It's all people, all the time, all the phones choose the wrong network. Smart is what I choose for number 1 SIM card. Globe is number 2. I go Smart. I buy a Smart load. I want to talk to a Smart number. It chooses Globe. The whole system here is basically corrupt and broken. And no one does anything about it. No matter what you do, if they take your phone number, you can never get that number back, and you could spend 200 hours putting phone numbers back in or looking for phone numbers. But it doesn't give you a notice. Your load is going to expire on March 1st. Please renew, please remit some money so you don't lose your phone number. It does none of that stuff. It does none of that. It just takes your phone number, then you have to pay $3 for a new SIM card and then reprogram it and pay somebody to move the numbers over, or you have to put the numbers back in. The system is broke, and it's done intentionally. Let me get, and now that's not even the worst part. So now you Google, let me read the comments. SIM, hey SIM. Yes, SIM, exactly the way it was back in the 90s. You're right about that. Hey, thanks for stopping by, SIM. You're right. You're absolutely right. It was, remember there was just 2 or 3 networks, and then you could get Nextel, which is eventually what I got back in like 99 or 2000. I got Nextel the first month it came out, so then you could call anybody anywhere in the world. But at first, it was $40 a month. Then when the other networks started coming in, it went down to $23, $21 a month. But basically, it's extortion. But this is going on now. Their phone systems, their telecommunications systems, to answer your question, my phone, my Samsung Galaxy 21 phone, it chooses the wrong network, and so does my iPhone. This is a program that's programmed into the phone to choose the wrong network to use to send a message, text, or make a phone call. Now, I have 256 gigabytes of a hard drive in my phone. It can take, there might be 200 phone numbers for Smart and Globe. It has that in the background. It's running all those numbers, because when you go to make a text, it chooses the wrong network every time. It chooses the wrong network. So it has to know what the networks are to choose the wrong network. Otherwise, it would be a 50-50 thing. So it has the numbers in the background. It chooses the wrong number, and it gives you the option to change it if you remember. It's a scam. A scandal, I tell you. Red Horse. Hey, Red Horse, I didn't talk about your shoes. Red Horse sent me a pair of water shoes. They're like a clog. Thank you, Red Horse. This is these are made by Keen, Keen, Keen shoes. They have a really, 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 really stiff lower base. They're waterproof. They have water goes in, water goes out, and they have a pretty good solid tip when you're walking in the water in case you kick an anchor or something like that. It's got a pretty good nose on it. Yeah, Red Horse. I walked 1,500 feet in these shoes yesterday. To be completely honest, they were very comfortable on my feet. Very comfortable on my feet. Thank you. And my foot, the swelling in my foot, the infection came back in my foot. So after I went through that ordeal at the post office, I went and got another round of ciprofloxacin because my foot swelled up. After 1,500 feet of walking, my foot swelled up, and even these size 13s would not accommodate my foot. But luckily, I had a size 14 boot as a backup for my size 13 Keens. Yesterday was shoe day, baby. Thank you, Red Horse. It was a wonderful gift. And please tell the missus I said hello. So, this boot, I took this shoe off, and I put this boot on, and I walked around about 3/4 of a mile with this boot. No problems. The cushioning in this was perfect. It's a size 14, which allowed the width of my foot, which is the problem I have with the width. It allowed that, and from walking, your foot swells up a little bit, but at a certain point, like a half a mile, the blood starts to circulate again. So I went straight to the hospital when my foot swelled up, and I got another round of ciprofloxacin, and the swelling in my foot and the leg went down. But thank you, Red Horse Adventures. That was a great and wonderful gift from you and the missus. I really appreciate that muchly. Thank you. So now I'm going to talk about, let me read the comments, because Red Horse did go way out of his way to get me those shoes. Yeah, I remember that also, those contracts that we had to sign. I think that's Flywoods. Hey Frank, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. And that is off topic, so we'll just not pay any attention to that. Thank you. Let me what I'm going to do. Frank, are you still here with me? Flywoods. I want to. Are you still with me, Flywoods? What happened to the... Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so let's go back. All right, Frank, I haven't seen you in a while. I just made you a moderator. So you feel free. Have at it, man. Something you don't like, eliminate it. Something that you don't agree with, take it off the board. I have no problem with that. My moderators have full control over the comment section. If someone that's taking the comment down, that's okay. Every once in a while, there's a mistake. I make them myself. But Frank Flywoods is my friend, and I trust him as a moderator. So, Red Horse, thank you. Boots on the ground, baby. Now, Sim said, yes, back in the 90s, remember, I had to buy You had to buy a phone and a package for 2 years if you wanted to get the phone free from Nextel, I think it was. Nextel? I don't remember the name, in Florida. It was a scam. You had to pay for 2 years. But that's the way it was. But here, you got to understand something, people who listening to this. You got to understand something. We went through all of these trials and tribulations with cell phones and computer systems 30 years ago. They've had 30 years of internet upgrades. And we're still working with technology from the year 2000 here in the Philippines. There's no reason for them to take your phone number away without at least giving you a 72-hour notice that in 72 hours your number's going to expire. There's no reason. It doesn't cost them anything to do that. But it does, because you have to pay $3 for a SIM card. So every time they cancel a phone, they make $3. You figure that happens 10,000 times a week? That's $30,000 a week. That's $120,000 a month. That's $300,000 plus a year for SIM card cancellations. That's a lot of money to do nothing. Plus the millions of phone calls that have to be made in order to upgrade or get your new numbers. So when an internet number is no longer working, the provider like GCU, whatever it is in Cebu, they have a number, or GBS, whatever it is. They know their number doesn't work. No one goes onto their website and changes their number. Nobody ever changes the number. They just leave the old number on, and you call the wrong number. There's no number. And they never put a new number in because they knew there was a number from 5 years ago. You go look at the port of Tagbilaran. Go look at the schedule for the port of Tagbilaran for the boats. Go look at it. They have schedules from the year 2012 still when you look at the schedule. 9 years ago, 10 years ago, they have schedules up. They have current schedules too, but you might have to go through 50 schedules to get today's schedule. And today's schedule is not accurate anyway. It doesn't matter. So they don't upgrade anything here, and if they spend a minimum time, they put a phone number up. It was the number. It's no longer the number. No one goes on to change it because they don't know how. They don't. In America, I had to have an internet technician. I had to pay him a monthly fee to upgrade my website. And that was from GoDaddy.com, which I would never, ever recommend to anybody, because their service fees tripled from the time you buy the program to the time you use the program to a year later. The service fees for everything in GoDaddy tripled. Everything. They charge you $11 a year to have a website address. Next year it's $22. The third year was $33. But moving on, let's go back to my boots, and the internet service here is broken. And now we'll tell you why. Again, Scott, we got that. You should put the scam, the fedora, the white. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second, baby. I got the fedora right here, baby. Scott is right. This is the ultimate. We got the Scamdora on. Hey, you want a scam? I got a scam for you. It's called Globe and Smart. Salamat, Scott. Oh, over the minutes, right. Oh, yeah. So you can't go over the minutes here. Oh, you know what another scam that Globe and Smart has, right? If you go over the minutes and you run out of minutes, you can buy, you're going to get a notice. After lose your minutes for the time that you have the minutes for. So let's say your minutes expire on Wednesday. Wednesday, you're going to get a message that you can't, when you go to text, you have run out of minutes. But if you want to buy 3 minutes, you can pay 10 or 3 texts. You can buy 3 texts on credit for 10 pesos. They charge you 3 times, so then you could make 3 texts for 3 times the price. And then the next time you load, it takes those 10 pesos from your load. They got a scam for everything here. Everything. They got a scam for every aspect of every phone everywhere. Let's go back here. So that's something. You run out of text. You run out of load. You run out of minutes. You go to make a text. It says you have used up all your service minutes, but you can buy 3 texts for 10 pesos or 3 times the price. But then you use those 3 texts, then you owe them 10 pesos, whereas normally it would be 1 peso per text. You should get 10 pesos. They triple the cost. They give you that option for emergency, if you have an emergency text. And the Filipinos do it all the time. They use their emergency text, and then when they get, so you got to understand, 20 pesos for a load for the day for a Filipino is half hour's wages. If they work in a supermarket, they make 45 pesos per hour, and 20 pesos for 1 text, 1 day, is a half hour's wages. That would be the equivalent of spending $50 a day for phone service in American money. They are usurping the poor people of Southeast Asia in so many ways with the phones and the text and the internet. Considering we didn't have internet 5 days this month, I didn't have internet at all on Saturday. I paid for a service fee for my Galaxy 21 phone, and I got a virus in it last Thursday. So I couldn't use my Galaxy 21 phone for any reason whatsoever. But I paid $2 for the service. So last Wednesday, I think I bought the service. It should expire tomorrow, but I didn't use it. I couldn't use it Saturday at all. Sunday, no phone service at all. Nothing. Zero. No internet service at all. Nothing. Nothing at all. Zero. Because after they shut the internet down here in the Philippines, Saturday night at midnight till noon Sunday afternoon, where I live, 12 hours. After the internet was shut down for 12 hours and I didn't have internet, I get a message Sunday afternoon saying that you may have experienced a loss of service between the hours of midnight and 12 o'clock this afternoon. We have been working to correct that problem. After the fact. Now, the internet worked sporadically for a few minutes here and there, but it may have worked for an hour out of those 12 hours. But they didn't send you a pre-message that we're going to be working on the internet from Saturday night to noon Sunday. They didn't send any message out at all. After the service went back on, they told you, this is what's wrong. This system is broke. You pay for a service. Once we didn't have service for 8 days, and I went to Globe, and I told this story many times. So, well, you have to wait for the bill to drop before we can give you credit. So when the bill dropped, then I had to send them a mail. And then I'm at the office in the city. And then the mail had to be confirmed by Globe that you didn't have a service. So when I went to Globe back after they got the mail, they said, yes, sir, you have to wait 90 days to get the credit for the 8 days you didn't have the internet. So in 90 days, I went back, and they told me that you waited too long. You had to apply for credit within 30 days. It's the whole thing. Everything about Globe and everything about Smart is a scam. Either they don't know or they don't care, and they know, or they just tell you they don't know, and then they tell you one thing and then they do something else. So after 90 days, when I went back and asked them, do I get the credit now? No, sir. Why not? You waited too long. There was a window. So they didn't give me internet for 8 days, and they would refuse to give me credit, and I may have made 5 or 6 phone calls. 5 or 6 correspondence at the office at Globe to get that money back, just to piss them off. I didn't do it for any other reason. And they never gave me back the credit. And they did it to everybody. It was 2 years ago during a typhoon, and Hurricane Odette, Cyclone Odette, 34 days. No internet, 34 days. They charged us for that month and never gave anybody a single dollar in credit for those 34 days. They said that being that Cyclone Odette caused so much damage, they had to keep that money to put new poles in. It's a scam, I tell you. And we have the scam door on. Okay, let's go over here. Yeah, Jesus would turn the tables of the phone service upside down. The money, these are basically an element of criminals that are above top secret. These people that run these companies, they have no remorse at all. They take a phone number with 500 phone numbers, 5 phone numbers, 50 phone numbers, and they just take it. They don't even give you the option to get it back. Now, moving on to the next scam that they run here in the Philippines. I got to figure out the title. It was in the title. Samsung. There you go, Samsung. The scam that Samsung is running. Okay? So, I get a virus last week in my phone. I bring the phone to Samsung on Sunday. And the technician is going to be in, but he wasn't in just yet, so I had to go back later on in the day. And my load, for whatever reason, the phone would not allow me to use the load in the Samsung store because of some technology they have that blocks cell phone service in the store. I have no idea. Not only do I have no idea, but Christian had no idea. The woman behind the counter had no idea, but sometimes your phone does not work, sir. So, we hook up at that moment, I had no service, but I had no phone because I got a virus in my phone. So I didn't know if it was the virus or service, whatever. Again, it turned out that the reason we didn't have any service on the Samsung phone is because Globe Smart shut the system down till noon Sunday afternoon. So, Samsung hooks me up on my phone, my alpha male construction, I can get, they can't get onto YouTube. And he says, what happened to your phone? I said, I don't know. I removed a few apps because I had like 150 apps in the phone. And I removed stuff that I didn't think belonged there. Then I got a virus. Then the phone wouldn't even turn on. It would do this. It would go from program to program to, I couldn't use it. It was useless. No Skype, no Messenger, no phone at all from Thursday until Sunday. So Christian comes about 11 o'clock and he hooks me up to Samsung internet in the store. And he says, can I reprogram your phone? So we brought it back to factory settings, and then he added whatever apps he needed to add. And he gets YouTube working, but from only, I could see YouTube. So I try Skype, no Messenger, and no Google search engine at all. Nothing, zero. So I said, Christian, I can't use my Skype because I was calling Scott. Yes, sir. I can't use my Messenger because I wanted to call Daisy. Yes, sir. Can you tell me why? Yes, sir. Our internet comes from, it comes from Cebu. I don't know how that happened. And our internet is weak. I said, yeah, but, when I bought this phone 2 years ago, you had the same problem. Yes, sir. Well, it cuts on and off. Yes, sir. Well, you're an internet, you're a store that sells iPads and phones. Yes, sir. If you want, you can buy a load. And I said, well, I have a load. Because he didn't know that that Smart shut the system down and Globe they shut the internet down. He didn't know that. I didn't know it. So we couldn't get it working. We only got YouTube. That's it. And just my one thing. So they don't send out a notice that they're going to work on the system till after the system goes down. You may have experienced some difficulties getting online. Please understand, we are working feverishly to correct this. They know they're going to work on the technology, and they don't tell you in advance. It's an amazing thing. It's just an amazing thing. And I never got a credit for Cyclone Odette, 34 days no internet. I never got that 8-day credit. No one ever did. And the best answer that you're ever going to get out of that is welcome to the Philippines, baby. Because that's all the answer you're ever going to get. Because they don't care that the system is broke. They just don't care. Now, I could go on. I could go on and on. I could go on and on and on with this broken system stuff, but how many things, the technology of America's internet service is available. Smart and Globe are stealing, usurping, scamming, glomming billions of pesos every week or every month. Billions. They could afford to put the highest technology in place, and all of this stuff would disappear. When the guy comes to check, when they broke the wire about a month ago, a truck went by and broke the wire, and it was ripped, but it worked. But when it rained, it didn't work, and when it was windy, it didn't work, and sometimes when it was sunny, it didn't work. So they had to physically look at 850 feet of wire to find the break in the wire. So they had to have the truck that came to fix the supposedly put a new modem in, which they never did, and the truck with two men on it that looked at the wire from the top of the block to the bottom of the block, 850 feet till they found where the wire was scratched and was broken. And that took about 2 hours. In America, they have a machine. They put the machine on the cable, on this end of the cable, and it will tell you where the break is, how far away the break is by the what's called impedance. But in America, they have a computer that will tell you where the break is from the other end as well. But the machine that they use in America back in 2010, that machine, it's about that big. It's about the size of half a shoebox. It's $34,000 for that technology. But they have that technology. So you would think that Smart and Globe, billions and billions and billions of pesos, would have that. They don't. So I spent 2.5 hours with the technician to get a break in the line fixed, and it took me 2 days to get the technicians here. Oh, and then I'm at Globe a month ago, on Monday, let's say, and they say, your technician will be at your house at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I said, well, thank you very much for the quick service. At 3 o'clock that afternoon, I'm inside the ICM mall. Sir, where are you? I'm in the mall. Who am I speaking with? This is Globe, sir. We're at your house. And then why are you at my house? We have to fix your internet. I'm going, but the meeting is for tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Hold on a minute, sir. So he confirmed it's for tomorrow morning. So they sent out a notice for the wrong day and the wrong time, even though I was in the office making the appointment for tomorrow morning. As minutes after I leave the office, I get a call that they're at my house, maybe 45 minutes. The system is broke. I tell you, it's broken. It's an amazing thing. It's just amazing how much time is wasted. You want to hear something even worse? When the system is down, so let's say I have Globe, and this phone here, is a Globe phone. I can call any landline in Bohol for free. I can call any Globe cell number anywhere in the Philippines for free. For that, I pay $34 a month for my internet and the phone. But, when the internet is down, there's no phone service. So I have a Globe phone, cell phone card with, say, 30 pesos in what we call the bank, 30 pesos of load, right? You would think that Globe would give you free call from your Globe cell phone to Globe service, Globe repair service, but they don't. Not only do they not give you a free phone call from your cell phone to the Globe service, but they charge you 8 pesos a minute, 16 cents a minute, to call Globe on your Globe phone because your Globe service is broke. So after 4 minutes, my service cut off. So when I went to Globe the next day, I said to them, I used to be able to call Globe Service Center for service on my cell phone and talk to them and tell them that I had a problem with my Globe service. Yes, sir. But we don't do that anymore. We charge 8 pesos per minute for you to use your cell phone, your Globe cell phone, to call Globe service. So your service is broke, and then they're charging you 16 cents a minute, 8 pesos a minute, to call up to tell them that the service is broke. And you can wait online a half an hour. So with me, I only had 30 pesos in the bank. There's so many things wrong with the internet and the phone service here. There's no way to describe it. I tried, but you people just don't get it. You don't understand. And anything that I said is 100% accurate. Well, maybe when I said that they charge 8 pesos, which is 16 cents a minute, maybe the real 8 pesos really breaks down to 15 cents a minute. Because it used to be double the pesos is what it is in cents. It's no more. So those numbers are inaccurate by 2 or 3%. By 2 or 3 cents. But the internet here, it's garbage. And then half the nights that I'm here, loading stuff. Oh, and by the way, you can use all your data if you're a YouTuber. You can run out of data uploading videos on YouTube. And then what takes like 45 seconds to load, say, a 1-minute video on YouTube, and you do like a couple of videos that are 3 hours live stream, like I'm using a live stream now. I run out of data, and then I go to load a video that's 1 minute long, and it might take an hour because you ran out of data. So you call them up and say, is there something wrong with the internet? And they check. No, sir, you ran out of data. Well, how do I get the internet to work again? Sir, you can agree to pay 500 pesos. You pay for additional data. So the first upgrade that you buy more data, it's $10 for more data. And then that should be enough to get you through the rest of the... Because if $10 buys you as much data as you're going to use in a whole month. So $10, you give them $10, and they give you probably... I've never had to pay $10 more than just once in a month. But when you run out of data, the internet is useless. You can't even Google anything. And then when you Google something, you can't get the right phone number or the right web address. I Googled a person I buy parts from in Cebu, and he has 3 websites, 3 phone numbers, excuse me, and only one of them works, but he doesn't answer that phone. So you have to send him an email telling him that you're going to call his number in order for him to answer the phone. And then when he does answer the phone, then you could do your business. So you have to send out an email to tell somebody to answer his phone so you can do business with him to do business. It's an amazing thing living here in the Philippines. So I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I don't see any fresh comments. So I'm not real sure if the comments... Okay. Scott, okay, yeah, I did. I had to refresh the page. Scott, Samsung, Miko. I love the scam in the Philippines at Christmas. I think Miko is from the Philippines. I love the scam in the Philippines at Christmas where the locals give the foreigner a Christmas card. That's... He's right. With the locals at Christmas time here in the Philippines, the locals carry an envelope around. And they give the Christmas card addressed envelope to send it back with money. But typically on the jeepney, they just give you an envelope with, like, say, 20 pesos in it. And then well, I didn't know what that meant. I thought they were, I have no idea what that meant. So they're basically asking you for pesos, which is cool. I mean, if you can get it, why not, right? But they do that with the envelope. They don't do that where I live, though. I don't think anybody's ever given me an envelope in this area. First of all, there's only 3 foreigners living here, and I don't think I've ever seen. Now, I don't mind that they do caroling. I give them plenty of options to do caroling, but they got to sing a song. I don't want to hear thank you, thank you. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear a song. I want to hear the words in a song. Stand up, stand at attention, and sing me a song, baby, and I'll give you money, because they want to come and just Merry Christmas or a quick Jingle Bells. Sing a song. Learn the song. They sing all day long. And then I'll give them pesos. But that Christmas card thing that Miko says, that's true. I don't think that'll happen, Scott. Maybe they get the internet via microwave from Cebu. I don't know. When Christian said that, he said we get our internet from Cebu. Microwave. Yeah, I guess that's possible. I mean, I don't know how that works. But either way, for as long as I've been going into the Samsung store, the internet doesn't work there. It works if you're 10 feet away from the counter, but it doesn't work by the door of the store. So it's just weak internet. Oh yeah, that I forget all about the thumbs up. Those people that cry that, oh, I got 29 people watching it, I only got 12 thumbs up. I love when they cry about stuff like that. First of all, without getting off subject too much, 95% of all the bloggers in the Philippines don't have anything of any value to say. Most of them. What value is it to talk about 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 bloggers? What value is that as a vlogger or blogger of the Philippines? I am discussing truthful stuff about how much they charge, what they charge, how they charge it, why they charge it, and the scam that's being run against every person in the Philippines, period. I'm the one that's giving you the information, but other people, I don't mean to disrespect Popeye in any way, shape, or form, but Popeye makes a living out of making fun of other people, which is okay. Roberto, he brings video clips of different bloggers, which is okay, but that really doesn't have anything to do with the Philippines. I'm one of the few people that give you real information about the Philippines. The customs thing, who would have guessed to wait 93 days for a pair of boots to clear through customs? 93 days for this bag and these boots. A bag, a plastic bag. The boots were in the plastic bag, nothing else. Plastic bag, boots, 93 days to get through customs. And it even has it here, on here. Whatever date that is, it's right here. It passed customs, but it took 93 days. Why? Why? No one can tell you why. Customs doesn't answer the phone that they have listed. They don't answer emails at all. How do you get in touch with customs? You don't. The company that sent the package could not. I could not. And I didn't ask the post office because he couldn't even, ah, Melvin, look what you did. Look what you did. You made me do a video, Melvin, the next time we have dinner together, I'll sit down and have this conversation with you again. Jeez, my buddy Melvin. God almighty, that was too much. That was just too much. We don't answer the phone. Please come and pick up your package. Even I paid $40 for door-to-door service. Even I paid $40. They wouldn't deliver my package. From Manila to Bohol, $40. And it's supposed to go door-to-door, but being that there was a $2.20 service fee for customs, the delivery gets shut off. That's ridiculous. Bring the item to my house. I paid for it. I'll give you the money. No. I could have just paid the $2.20 and then told them, Melvin, drop the shoes off at my house later or tomorrow. He would have said yes. The system is broken. Alrighty, so we have no new comments. 25 lurkers. And you people out there that are lurking, who in the Philippines is actually doing anything about the Philippines? Blogging any information. This is serious truth that I just spewed out for an hour and a half. This is a serious matter. When you can't get in touch with a local post office because there's no number, and the number they texted you from, they don't answer the texts, and the number you request the number that works from, they don't look at the messages for days or ever. And then they laugh. Yes, sir. You didn't answer the text. Yes, sir. But I sent you a request for a telephone. Yes, sir. Well, why didn't you answer the phone? Why didn't you answer the text? Sir, we didn't see the text. I said, but I've been for 2 days. I sent you. Yes, sir. They said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then, that's all you're going to get is yes, sir. Next time your experience will be better. Remember, you heard that 2 weeks ago at the Bellevue. There won't be a next time. I would never go back there. Because what's to go back to? I'm never going to spend another dollar there. It's okay. I don't care if they change the whole system around. I did a video. I sent them the video with my name and telephone number in the video. If you have something to ask me or talk to me about, call me up and I'll even stop down there. They just wiped it off the chart, I guess, as a non-happy customer, and that's the way it is. Welcome to the Philippines, baby. And I won't ever make another video there because I took down 21 videos off Hoodwinked by an Angel. I took 21 videos off altogether of the Bellevue. All great video. And they, J. Dow, you moron, stop sending me 3,000 word conversations. I'm not interested. I don't care that you were an English teacher. I don't care that you have excellent penmanship. I don't care that you don't. Stop writing 3-page dissertations on other people's channels. Fazio's an okay blogger, but he's a little... J. Dow, I don't care what you think. I never cared what you think, and I never gonna care what you think. You watch people's videos, and leave 2,000 and 3,000 word dissertations on what your opinion is. Fazio gave a bad review of the hotel. Now, why would Fazio do that? What would Fazio's intent? But the intention was, I got bad service and I made a bad review. That's the intention. And you made 2,000 words, 4,000 characters plus. You used up your entire character allotment on another person's channel to give you a theory. J. Dow, just mind your own darn business. Just stay out of my business. I don't even read your garbage anymore. You flip-flop back and forth. You don't want to be on one side or the other. That's fine. But stop sending me mail. And you did. Pretty much you did. But then when I'm looking at this, maybe Fazio is upset that maybe if maybe it's self-service. The buffet, yeah, the buffet is self-service. J. Dow, directly. The buffet is self-service, but the water and the coffee, there's no water dispenser and there's no coffee dispenser, you moron. None at all, anywhere. You have to get coffee and water from a waiter. So your theory was maybe it's self-service. Maybe he could have got up and got the water. Maybe he didn't want to go get the maybe J. Dow, please just mind your own business. I'm not interested in your opinion about anything. In fact, if you write me one more of those 3 or 4 page dissertations, I'm just going to block you altogether. I don't care what you think. I never cared what you think, and I'm never going to care what you think. That's a fact. And to anybody that saw my video where a particular blogger was going like this, and then like this, putting it in his mouth, and going like this, and then scraping it down through his mustache, and then putting his finger. Go look at the video I quoted. It's still up. Thank you very much, Popeye. No, Popeye did not take that down because, dude, he doesn't like you. If he liked you, if you were really a good guy, he's mad at you. Popeye is mad at you. He left that video up so everybody could see your habits, let's say. And I don't want to say what your habits are, but you know what? Louis Pagan Ponce, Scott Del Fuego, and a dozen other people that I've talked to have seen Popeye's video where you do everything I explained that you do. Dude, you look, and this is just my opinion, but you look like you were, I wouldn't say drunk, but you were off that night. You were definitely off on something or not on something that you should have been on, because you sat there for 40 minutes and absorbed every bodily fluid and crustacean that came out of your eyes and ingested it internally. You have some serious problems, dude, besides your sharing of everything that you have. That's another issue altogether. The fact that you sat there for 40 minutes and were not cognizant that you were pulling eye gunk out and then making snacks out of it, that says that you're a psychologically imbalanced individual. And I am not the only person that agrees to that statement. People that you believe are your friend and that you know and want to be friends with, that I communicate with separately, like we all do, saw what you did and agree something is wrong with you psychologically. Even though you said you don't take, I saw all the pharmaceutical chemicals that a certain person uses. I've never used a drug in my whole life. You said that. You said that. That's ridiculous. Looking at you absorbed your bodily fluids from every different orifice in your head. And then you saying that you've never utilized, you've never been on, you've never needed any kind of psychological balancing. That's nonsense, man. You have done some of the most bizarre stuff on YouTube. You did all the eating and drinking and munching and snacking on the bodily fluids that came from every orifice in your head, to talking about making love to not one but two ladyboys in one. You said that on Cheese Show. You have some serious problems, dude. So you want to call me names? By all means, call me names. By all means, say anything you want. But there's three things that you people that are lurking, and this is why I mention this. There's three things that you lurkers will never see me do. You'll never see me put my finger in my nose and then lick my fingers. You won't see it. You'll never see me take the eye gunk out of my eyes and eat it. That happened. That happened. And you'll never hear me talking about tonight. Tonight I have a date with two ladyboys. That happened. That happened years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. My opinion of you just dropped right out of the bottom of the bucket. And you never, ever, 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 and this is a big one. If I went out with Daisy, when I went out with Daisy, if Daisy comes back, you will never hear me say that I'm going to share Daisy with anybody else. Ever. Because that's not what you do with somebody when you care about them. But not you, dude. You're all into that open relationship stuff, which is cool. But in my opinion, that's the kind of stuff that you keep to yourself. But your ego, your huge ego, won't let you keep that to yourself. So when you publicize it, like, would it be okay if your girlfriend joins my harem? That's pretty sick, man. That's basically, you were doing something called extortion, without any doubt in my mind. You were extorting a man by squeezing, putting your thumb on him and applying as much pressure as possible for him to give you his girlfriend. And he did. And you're a sick, very, very sick, mentally deranged person, in my opinion, to ask for another man's girlfriend. You're a sick, disgusting mental case to ask for another man's girlfriend to have permission that she can join your harem. And then when he's incarcerated and has no choice other than to say yes because he needs your assistance, that is, in my opinion, extortion. And that's what you did. Blatantly, outright obvious. And then you might fluff it off, well, I was only joking. You don't joke around like that. You don't joke around like that. None of my friends, not one person, hey Freebird, thanks for stopping by. Not one of my friends ever asked me, see, I just scratched my nose, watch, I don't stick my fingers in my mouth. Not one of my friends ever asked me if they could be with Daisy. Because if they did, I would say, well, that's ridiculous, and I would never talk to them again. But you like passing that stuff around like cotton candy at a church festival. That's not normal. And then you want to quote the Bible. You sanctimonious hypocrite, worthless subhuman being. You want to quote the Bible? You want to quote turn the other cheek? You want to quote You want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, then you want to lie about it? Well, I stopped giving once I realized that his redemption was not an honest. That was, when did you stop giving? A day and a half ago? The day before? What? You people on YouTube, you make stuff up as you go along. Catch me in a lie. Go ahead, catch me in a big lie. Even a little lie. Like Chubbawubba. That man is just basically stupid, okay? Okay, and I'll tell you why. And here we go with Chubbawubba. Chubbawubba declares himself to be a researcher, and that he's going to research my legal history. That's okay. Chubbawubba, have at it. I've said it in every single instance where I've talked about this idiot whose name they call Chubbawubba. In every instance, I said it's perfectly okay for you to post my criminal history or my arrest record or my tax history or my license history. Anything you want to post that's public record, feel free to do so. But Chubbawubba, no, he's got to have an IQ of about 42. And he Googles, I don't know how he got Michael Anthony, quote, Fazio. I don't know who that is. But the idiot quotes, writes down on another channel that Michael Anthony Fazio, whoever that is, I don't know, who lives in Montgomery County, I think it was, in Florida, was arrested for selling lobsters. I didn't read the whole thing, but so many counts of selling lobsters to restaurants without a proper license. I didn't even read it because it's not me, so it doesn't have any bearing on it. And then he put that up as my criminal history. That's not me, dude. So if you people out there are too ignorant to look up Michael Thomas Fazio and you put the wrong information on the internet, and then you have a whole charade of people saying, oh, Fazio's trying to renege on his legal history. No, I'm not. Post my arrest records. Go ahead. You have permission. Post them. But post them what they were for, to whom they were with, and how they were adjudicated without any trial or penalties or fines. Just do it what's in the record books. And if it's not in the record books, then don't put my name attached to it, because that's fraud. But I am not trying to back out. And why would anybody on here now that's watching the show, do you care that I got arrested for writing a bad check in 1990? Could have been 97. And for 4 years, they didn't know where I lived. Although I was on the books for MCSO, Monroe County Corrections Office, to take the test for, and I took it, from Florida Marine Patrol and the Florida Highway Patrol. I took and the post office. So they had my address and name for 4 years before they arrested me. 4 years. So that was a serious, just before computers took over. But this guy's got me. Oh, he was selling lobster. I never sold a lobster to anybody since the day I was born, moron. If you can't get some simple little fact like that straight, Scott could look up my criminal history or my arrest record. He'll tell you. I could give you the names of the people that were involved. And the prosecutor, I don't remember their name, but the prosecutor took me into the office of the prosecutor's office and Mr. Fazio, why did you write that check? I said, well, I wrote the check in April and I canceled the bank account in November because the woman at Tib Bank said you only have to wait 6 months for a check that didn't clear through your books. And I waited 6 months and canceled the bank account. And they changed the rules during the time she gave me the bad information. It was a year. So I wrote out a bad check, true. I got arrested for a bad check, true. Because they changed the rules, true. It was a $10 check, true. And it was a check to get a haircut to take FUMP physical for Florida Marine Patrol. I had to get a haircut because my hair did not meet regulation. So I write out a check to become a Florida Marine Patrol officer to take the test. You got to have a haircut to take the test. And then 6 months go by and I cancel the account, and 8 months go by and she maybe the check was behind the register, who knows, wherever it was. But 8 months later she cashes the check and it became a bounced check. So Chubba Wubba, keep your damn opinions to yourself as to what people's arrest records are. Just print what's there. Just print what's in the books. And if you made a mistake, I'll correct you. So all of your research, and then Fazio's trying to back, that was 1997, I took the test for the Florida Marine Patrol. So what is that? That's 26 years ago. 26 years ago, Chubba Wubba, and that's important to you? Why don't you show us your face, put your name and address on the screen, and then we'll find out what's important to you. Let's find out a little bit about you. But I won't go back 26 years and you, and then the next one happened in 2002. That was 21 years ago. And you got that one wrong probably too, because you're an idiot. You don't have the brains of a child that you can't Google a man's name for public records. It's all public. I didn't have my records expunged. I don't care about that stuff. But you want to make a big deal out of it because you're an idiot. You're too stupid to know the difference between Michael Thomas Fazio and Michael Fazio and Michael Anthony Fazio. You are an idiot, Chubba Wubba. And by the way, what does Chubba Wubba remind you of? I got to tell you, man. It reminds me of a guy that's acting as a fluffer in between rounds, holding the sausage, trying to get the sausage to perk up. That's what Chubba Wubba reminds me of. It reminds me of a guy that's trying to turn a limp sausage into a hero. I don't know. Hey, Chubba Wubba, have at it with my arrest record. I'm still waiting to see it, by the way. I hear about it. I hear that I'm trying to back 26 years ago, and you bring up something for a $10 service fee. You bring up something from 20. Go ahead and bring up all my history. Go ahead and do that. You're never going to find a single piece of information that said I lost my house because I owed Monroe County money. There is no piece of information that said I lost my house because I owed Monroe County money. Nothing. My house was not foreclosed on. I gave it back to the mortgage company. But you posted that I lost my house because because another idiot and another idiot and another idiot named Warren said that. And it's not true. He made it up. So you are quoting a moron named Warren, his lying information. You're quoting a guy that lied about everything for years to me and everybody else on YouTube. You're quoting a man, Chubba Wubba. You're quoting a man named Warren that said, Scott Del Fuego was here. You're quoting a man that said he had a wife and 3 children die in a flaming car accident. And he lost his wife and 3 daughters all on the same day. That man named Warren that you're quoting was never married, never married, never married. He had no children. There was no car accident. Warren also quoted that he was a police officer in Australia with honors. There was no Warren, and everybody knows his last name, listed as a police officer in the country of Australia anywhere. Warren police officer story all made up. Scott will confirm that. Scott has the ability to see, and he looked for Warren's marriage certificate and police records. There isn't any. So a man who said he had a wife and 3 children that died in a car accident from flames, a burning car wreck, never had a wife, never had any children, and was never married. He also said that happened when he was a police officer. He was never a police officer. So you're quoting a man that lied about being a police officer, lied about being married, lied about having children, and then lied about his family dying in a car wreck. That's where you're getting your information, from a liar named Warren. Dude, you need to get better information. Scott will confirm it. I don't need Scott to confirm it, because nobody in this world can look up Warren's name in Australia. Nobody in this world. He was never a fireman volunteer. He was never a police officer. He was never married. He never had any children. And as far as we know, he never had anything to do with any kind of government job. He's a fraud. And that's where you're getting your information from. I love having videos like this. I love doing these live streams, because I can get so many things straightened out. Go ahead and wager me money. Go ahead and wager me money. Go ahead and expose yourself. All of you. Expose yourself and tell me what I said about Warren is not true. Go ahead. Find me Warren's police records. Find me Warren's wife. Find me Warren's children. Find me an accident that happened where Warren lost his 3 children in a car accident. Never, ever happened. And Chubba Wubba, that's where he gets his information from. Okay, I'm going to have to refresh the page to see the current comments. I don't know why it's not working. So, Freebird did come in. Hello all, says Freebird. Hey, Peter V, I apologize. You know Peter V, I don't know who you are, but thank you. You happen to be, many occasions, you stand up for my past history. Knowing that, I think the other day you said, Fazio being a narco, if I remember correctly, Peter V, if you're still here. Fazio being a narco, how absurd. And you spelt it with an O-B-S-U-R-D. Absurd. That was you who said that. So somebody said, Warren, this moron named Warren. He said that I was a lookout for people that did illegal activities in my community. That never happened. Again, that's another thing that never happened, that Warren made up. He just made this stuff up, and fools like Chubba Wubba, they believe it. Never happened. Didn't happen. The other stuff that Warren said was not true. And even if there was literature, he wrote it down, he sent it to somebody, and they repeated it. Does that make it true? Doesn't make it true. There's no proof. It's just hearsay. Third-party hearsay at that. So let's go back to the comments, Peter V. Okay, Peter V. Oh, see, this is about the big ego. I don't know. Hey, Dennis Adam, my friend Dennis. Hey, thank you for stopping by. Hey, Dennis. I lost the internet for a moment. Thank you, Dennis, for stopping by. Now, Peter V said, now Peter V is, I don't know, you know, people associate Peter V with Peter Van Diva. They're two different people. They're not the same person. And Peter V. Jr., I think his name is, yeah, Jr., he's always in the background denying something that someone said about me that's a lie. If he doesn't know, he doesn't know. But when he said that Fazio being a lookout narco is absurd, that would never happen. That would be something, number one, I wouldn't do it. And number two, why would I do it? Why would I get involved with anything like that in the Philippines? So these people on here, they make up these stories. Warren said it. So Warren, who never was a police officer, lied about that. Who was never married, lied about that. Who never had children, lied about that. Whose wife and children weren't killed in a car crash, lied about that. He all of a sudden is the go-to for knowledge on YouTube. This is what I mean about you people on YouTube. You're dumber than Chubba Wubba. That if you believe what Chubba Wubba says. You want to post my arrest records, go ahead. I could get it all to you in 10 minutes. But why would I? And what difference does it make? 26 years ago, a $10 check was written. And you think that's important? I want to see your criminal history, or all of you people's criminal histories. You're all a bunch of frauds. You all make up stories. One day you're one person, one day you're the next person. Peter V. Jr. says that the big ego took mushrooms. I don't know that to be true. But you know what? Peter V. has never lied to me. So I'm going to put a lot of credence in that conversation. I don't know why. But one thing I do know for sure is that the big ego, when he said, I never took a drug in my life, that's a lie. You either need drugs, you're on drugs, you didn't take enough of that medication that day, or you took too much medication, or you ran out of medication. But when you were sitting there ingesting all the bodily fluids you could squeeze out of your head and not realizing what you were doing, that was a lack of cognizance, a cognitive ability. That was a lack of self-awareness. You really need to self-adjust. Whatever those medications are, you need to get them. For you to sit there for 40 minutes and eat your own bodily fluids without realizing that you were doing it, I think that's cognitive ability was gone. Now, you weren't drunk, but you looked like you were drunk, but it wasn't alcohol. And you had this bland face on, and you were, in fact, having trouble with your eye. Well, I would imagine you take medication for that. But when you said, I never took a drug in my life, that's a lie. Everybody's... Oh, and you know what? If I'm not mistaken, Peter V., if you're still here, I want to talk to you about something. Something I heard. Peter V. says he's not joking, that happened. I believe you, because you've never made a false statement. Freebird, hello. Scott says, I don't care you got arrested. I never cared about it, and I'm never going to care. Almost everybody that I grew up with got arrested. And actually, if you don't get arrested where I grew up, that's an oddity. I mean, everybody that I know got arrested. I don't know any single person that I grew up with and hung out that didn't get arrested for something. Drunk driving, speeding, stuff like that. But everybody I know got arrested. Gatman, you're banned now. I'm going to ban you. You go on everybody's channel and talk smack about me, so you are banned now. Goodbye, Gatman. I don't like where you hang out or the people that you hang out with. And you got banned now. That's true. Yeah, you want to go hang out on other people's channel and talk smack about me, or laugh or giggle when they talk smack about me? You're not welcome here. Freebird says, I once wrote a hot check to my church. That was embarrassing for sure. It wasn't a hot check. It was what I explained. I needed to get a haircut. I wrote it out to that place. April, because I think the test was April 7th. In November, I canceled. I had a bank account 100 miles from my house where I lived. I moved. And the checks that I had were local to the island of Big Pine Key. So when I went up to Key Largo, they didn't want to take my check because it had a branch of my bank, but not, the address was different. So I canceled the bank account, because you have to pay a service fee to have a bank account for your checking account. Yeah, I think I paid $14 a month. So I didn't want to pay $14 a month. So I canceled one checking account. I transferred my money to another bank via electronic. And then when the woman cashed the check bounced. And nobody called me up and said, Mike, the check is bounced, because the bank missed it. They didn't have computers back then. This is 1997. A lot of stuff was done by hand. They had computers, but not fail-safes and red flags like they have now. Not only that, I had $103,000 in that bank on that day that I wrote the check out. So not in the checking account, but in the bank. So that's all documented. Why don't you go through that, Chubba Wubba? You moron that you are. So, and Scott says, and you don't go writing hot checks down in Mississippi. There ain't no good chain gang. Okay, Scott, thank you. Yes, Boston Dave, you're right. You're right. I do get the heavy bombardment. It's okay, though. I can take it. Because, you know what? I read, look, I've said this before. You got this clown, and he is a clown, Richie BUANG, right? He certainly would not be anybody I'd want to be friends with. No way would I be friends with him. There's so many reasons. There's so many reasons why I wouldn't be friends with him. Who he stays with, what he's done. He knows the name of every bar in every place he's ever been where you can go and meet people for service fees and what they call bar fines. I don't stay with people like that. Not part of my... I didn't even know that stuff existed till I moved to the Philippines. And just even a few years ago, I had no idea that there's a whole life where you go in and you pay people to, to hang out and talk with you. I had no idea that even existed. Probably 3 or 4 years ago was the first time I ever heard of it. So, and he knows every bar and every place and how much, and I would never be friends with that guy. Plus, every chance Richie BUANG 2 gets, he snipes me on Big Kevin's channel, on his channel, every chance he gets. Now, Rich, I'm going to tell you something directly. You want to make videos about me? I've not harassed you or bothered you. You want to do stupid comedy videos? Some of them are funny, some of them are not. But I don't appreciate when you gang up on me with Big Kevin or the trolls on his channel. Ha, 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 ha. Richie, I took one look at you, and I could tell the world, without any question in my mind, that as far as an accomplished person, you are not Richie BUANG. You are not an accomplished person. You've never shown anything that you've ever done. You probably never will. You have a small ability as editing goes to be an editor, but as accomplished man, no. Have you let's go into Richie Buang's past, okay? Richie Buang, are you a certified open water 2 deep diver certified? Number one, yes or no? Yes or no? Have you ever penetrated a wreck at 120 feet of water? Yes or no, Rich? Yes or no? These are all the things that Richie Buang can't, never can, never will be able to do. I have hundreds of dives in wrecks in more than 100 feet of water. The Spiegel Grove I may have done 35 or 40 times. The Helmer Hooker, 8 or 10 times. And everything in between in the state of Florida. In Palawan, I did all 5 wrecks twice a day for 14 days. I have hundreds of deep water dives. Rich Buang, do you have a deep water penetration dive into a wreck in 120 feet of water? Have you, Rich Buang, have you ever gone down to 185 feet, well below the maximum free diving limitations? Have you ever done that, Rich? The answer is no. You are an unaccomplished man. Hey, Rich, have you ever operated a tugboat with 5,000 horsepower engine in it, like my dad's? Have you ever done that? Have you ever moved a barge or a scow or a crane barge or a dump scow anywhere in New York Harbor? I have, Rich Buang. These are all the things that Rich Buang has never done, never will do, can't do, never will be able to do, will never have the opportunity to do. Hey, Rich Buang, have you ever operated a live wire, live boom crane on a 30 by 50 foot pile driving barge? Yes or no, Rich? Let's show us some of your accomplishments. The answer, of course, is no. Hey, Rich, have you ever piloted a barge 1,700 miles by yourself? A 30 foot by 50 foot barge, 30 foot by 50 foot barge, 1,700 miles from Traverse City, Michigan to New York Harbor, and from New York Harbor another 1,700 miles to Miami. Have you ever done that, Rich? No, you haven't. Have you ever piloted a barge? No, you haven't. Did you ever own a barge? No, you have not. These are all the things that Richie Buang could never do, will never be able to do, and that's what I find to be an unaccomplished person. Hey, Rich Buang, have you ever brought a barge from Miami to Cat Island, another 350 miles, to sell it to a guy named Nicholas Cripps in Orange Creek Marina? No, you did not cross the Atlantic Ocean 350 miles. No, you did not pilot a barge 350 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. Have you ever piloted a barge from across Lake St. Clair? No, you have not. Have Richie Buang ever piloted a barge across Lake Erie? No, you have not. Has Richie Buang ever piloted a 30 by 50 barge down the Detroit Straits? No, you have not. Has Richie Buang ever owned a barge? No, you have not. And you make fun of me? Look at the size of you. You have been let yourself go for years and years. You probably are a prime candidate for a heart attack. At your age and your size, your heart won't take much more of that. That's for sure. Your chin starts at your chest and ends at your ears, dude. That's pretty nasty. But moving on, Rich Buang, did you ever own forget my ocean racer, forget that. Have you ever owned a hydroplane with a 20 Merc on it that went 40 miles an hour? No, you did not, Rich, but I did. Okay, even though I didn't race it, but I had one as a child. Did you ever own a 10-foot fiberglass boat with a 7.5 horse Evinrude engine on it? No, you did not, Rich. As an 8 or 9 year old child, I had a boat. I went all over Jamaica Bay with that boat with Tommy Austin and Ronnie Call. Did you ever do that, Rich? No, you did not. And you make fun of me? These are just some of the things I've done. Then I bought a 16-foot glass boat with a 35 horse Evinrude on it. Did you ever own a boat, Rich? No, you have not, but you make fun of me. Hey, Rich, the next boat was a lapstreak boat, a 17-foot lapstreak boat with a 50 horse Evinrude on it. Did you ever own a lapstreak, 15-foot lapstreak boat with a 50 horse Evinrude on it? No, you did not, Rich. No, you did not. Hey, Rich, did you go water skiing when you were 5 years old? 5 years old, I had my own skis. Did you ever go water skiing, Rich? No, you did not, Rich. Do I have video? There was video of that. It got destroyed in Hurricane Sandy. But there was video of me water skiing when I was 5 years old. Have you done that, Rich? No, you have not. Hey, Rich, did you ever have 20 people working for you on a $9,000 a week payroll? No, you did not, Rich. You've probably never had a single person in your entire life work for you with a payroll. But you make fun of me, Rich. You're welcome to do that. I give you permission to do that. Remember, I give you permission. I can take it away just as fast as I gave it. And then where would you be without me to make your stupid comedy videos? That I don't watch, by the way. Hey, Rich, have you ever flown an airplane? Have you ever flown an ultralight? Have you ever flown a pterodactyl? Ultralight. Have you ever flown a Buccaneer 2 with a 85 horse Rotax engine on it? An amphibious Buccaneer 2 around the lakes of Lake Michigan up in near Traverse City. Have you ever done that? Have you ever landed in Alpena Airport? No, you have not, Rich. Have you ever taken off in an airport and soloed in an airplane? No, you did not, Rich. Have you ever flown an airplane? Probably not, Rich. These are all the things that Rich BUANG can't do, so he makes fun of Michael Fazio. Hey, Rich, getting on past flying ultralights and a Cherokee Warrior 2, four-seater, have you ever worked on an airplane engine? No, you did not, Rich. Do you have a license that says you can sign off an airplane engine as a power plant jet mechanic? No, you did not, Rich. Do you have a license that says you can fix a wing damage on an airplane? Wood, dope, and fabric, or metal, skin. Do you have a license that says you can fix it and sign it? No, you did not, Rich. And no, you cannot, Rich, because you have done nothing in your life. We're just picking on you today, Rich, because you wanted to make a video, and you wanted a video of something that Warren said that's not truthful. So let's go a little bit further with Rich BUANG, too. Hey, Rich, have you ever had a brand new factory-built Cobra Mustang that went 170 miles an hour, give or take 2 or 3 miles an hour, right from the factory? Have you ever owned one? No, you did not, Rich, but you want to make fun of Fazio. Hey, Rich, did you ever own an Ocean Racer that went 125 kilometers per hour? No, you did not, Rich, but you want to make fun of Fazio. Hey, Rich, did you ever own a house in Key Largo on a deep water? No, you did not, Rich. You did not, but you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. Hey, Rich, let me ask you another question. Did you ever go to Key West with an Ocean Racer and hang out with the big boys? Not that I raced, but just to go down there for the day and burn $1,000 in fuel getting there and back? No, you did not, Rich, because you never owned an Ocean Racer. Hey, Rich, did you ever own an Ocean Racer where you could go play out in the ocean in 3 and 4 and 5 foot waves and, you know, jump waves and stuff like that? Just play like on Miami Vice? No, you did not, Rich. Rich, you did not, but you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. Hey, Rich, did you ever operate a crane? Did you ever operate a crane and a pile driver and a drop hammer? No, and where men's lives depended on your skill set, which is basically zero when it comes to operating a crane. But did you ever do that? But you will make fun of my barge. Did you ever own a barge? No, you did not. Did you ever own a 471 18-inch Rupp Gorman pump to put the piling 60-foot poles in the ground in dirt or hard pack? Did you? No, you did not, Rich. Did you ever repair a 671 diesel engine? No, you did not, Rich. But you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. These are all the things that Rich BUANG cannot do. But you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. Rich BUANG, you have no right whatsoever in this world to make fun of anybody looking at the mess that you look like on YouTube. You can barely function. You can barely get out an entire sentence without stuttering. But you make fun of Michael Fazio because that's your only skill set. And that's okay. I give you permission to do that. But did you ever, hey, Rich, I don't want to sound like a bad guy here, you know, but have you ever owned a 446 pack GTX? 1971 446 pack GTX that turns 12 seconds flat with street tires at National Speedway, and I didn't even know how to run that car. 12 seconds flat machine with a 411 Dana rear, 411 Dana axles, 440 cubic inch Mopar, 440 horse Mopar engine with a 6-pack 3 Harley 500s. Did you ever own one of those, Rich? No, you did not. But you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. You think it's fun to make fun of Michael Fazio, but you are such an unaccomplished man that I laugh at you. I looked at you, I almost felt sorry for you. Not sad, but sorry. I said, that guy's a mess. That guy is a real mess. He can't talk. He has no pizzazz at all. In your element, the bar scene, you have none whatsoever. You looked as awkward in that bar as a fish out of water, Rich. But you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. And now, how are you going to make fun of Michael Fazio? You're going to take a video that was done by a third party who read Skype talk from a guy named Warren, who said he was a police officer, was never a police officer, who said he was married, he was never married, who said he had 3 children, he never had children, who said that his wife and 3 children burned up in a car accident. You're going to take excerpts from a written conversation from a man who I literally destroyed his reputation on YouTube as an honest human being, and you're going to take excerpts of an angry man talking about me and make a video out of it? Rich, you are a psychological mess. Just looking at you, originally, I felt extremely sorry for you. That you were so awkward in an element that you know everything about. And I was never going to mention that, but being that you asked somebody to get the video where Fazio was a supposed lookout, a narc, for something that never occurred in my neighborhood, by a man who tried to destroy my reputation, whose reputation, in fact, was destroyed by me. You're going to take excerpts from that video, from a third party, and you're going to make a comedy video out of that? Rich, you are a psychological mess. And I could go on and on and on. Rich, did you graduate high school with 3 years? Chubba Wubba, look this up. 3 years, 100% attendance. That means for 3 years, I showed up every day to school. And on the 4th, in my junior year, I was attacked and was stabbed and died on the operating table. And I missed 7 days of school in my junior year. And they would not waive those 7 days of lost time before the Christmas holiday. So I only got 3 years, 100% attendance. But I had 4 years 100% attendance in high school. Can you say that, Rich? No, you cannot. Hey, Rich, can you say you graduated high school with an A&P airframe and power plant jet mechanics license? No, you cannot, Rich, but you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. Rich, you should be the last person in this world to make fun of anybody looking at the mess that you are as a human being in your own environment, bars. You looked so out of place. I felt sorry for you, but I don't feel sorry for you anymore. I feel like you are the person, I feel like you're a shut-in. There's no doubt in my mind that you're a shut-in. You have no people skills whatsoever, in my opinion. Okay? Now, is there anything wrong with being a shut-in? Nope. But you want to make fun of everybody who actually goes out and does something. Do you own a drone, Rich BUANG? Can you make videos? Do you know how to fly a drone? No, you don't, Rich, but you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. You're all the same. You're all a bunch of losers. All the things I said about Rich BUANG, only because he makes fun of me and I allow that to happen, and I could take that privilege away from you in about an hour. I don't choose to. I'm not going to. Keep making fun of me. It's your forte. It's the only thing you're good at. I wouldn't take it away from you. I'm giving you permission to say anything you want on any video, true or false, because that's all you got in life. You know that you're an abject failure when it comes to YouTube blogs, so you have to make blogs about other people's, what you call insecurities or foibles. But you are the person that is the shut-in my opinion, not me. Dude, I walk through the city, 100 people may say hello to me in a day. I watch you, well, you don't live here, but I'd like to watch you walk down the block. Like yesterday morning, I walked down the block. 25 people said, "Good morning, Michael." Do I put that stuff in a blog? Heck no, I don't care about that. I don't need to have people say hello to me. I don't need that kind of attention. I don't even want it. But people driving by on motorcycles at 40 miles an hour, "Hey, Rabbi Jew Barker, hey, Fazio, hey, Michael, mein Buntag, Tambuk, mein Buntag Niwang." 100 people may say hello to me during the course of a day. I doubt very much that with your shyness, let's call it shyness, I doubt very much that you know of 100 people that would even talk to you, let alone say hello, go out of their way. I'm driving, I walk down through the city, there's a jeepney going by, and you got jeepney conductors go, "Hey, Fazio, you want to ride?" Because they don't know if I'm going home or I'm going to ICM. No, I'm going to Lacau. Walking today, walking. People go out of their way to stop jeepneys for me when they see me walking from the BQ Mall to the ICM. They go out of their way to stop the jeepney or ask me if I want to ride. And I got my back to them. And they, "Hey, Fazio, you need to..." "No, I'm okay, Lacau. But I doubt anybody does that for you, Rich. But you want to make fun of me. So I'm only making an example out of you because I feel I made the jump, the leap of faith, that because you're going to get that video where someone said I was a lookout and that I did certain things, that's all false. But you could make a comedy video out of it because you yourself have nothing to offer YouTube other than your comedy video experience. DNC. Let's get back to some of the comments here. Warren, Warren Scott Del Fuego's comment, he never intended to be partners in the hotel. That's another thing. Everybody believed that Warren and I were going to be partners. He was going to take the second floor. It was all arranged. He would never sign a contract. But it was arranged he was going to give me $80,000 US. And he was going to take the whole second floor. And for $80,000, verbal agreement, I was going to build the first floor, and then he was going to take the second floor. And for $80,000 at that time, I could have built up to the second floor and finished the second floor. He had no intentions of doing that. He did give me $2,500 US for a phone that I'm using now and the computer that was on my table. But he had no intentions of ever going through with a hotel. But he made me believe that for 2.5 years. And the day I found out, I destroyed his reputation. I destroyed it. I called him a liar, a fraud in Skype. And then he went on Cheese Show. And then that moron that Peter V calls the big ego, that moron took sides with Warren, even though that moron knew that everything I had, plans, permits, leases, all my stuff was done and paid for and my ducks were in order, so to speak. And that moron took Warren's side because his freaking ego is so big that he had to be involved in a conversation that he knew was false. He did it for the notoriety. The man is a worthless human being, in my opinion. And everything that he's ever done since has proven such. After that, he was going to have love with two ladyboys. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. If you want to do that kind of stuff, that's your option, your privilege. But to announce it on YouTube for the notoriety and attention, that's a sick way to get attention. Let's go back. So Warren never had any intention ever of being my partner. He just wanted to do it for the notoriety because I was a little bit popular on YouTube. Freebird, Freebird, Freebird. Freebird remembers. Freebird's been with me since the get-go. Warren said he had cancer. I said he didn't have cancer. He never had cancer. I believed him. I even cried for him. I even prayed for him. He never had cancer. He's still alive. He goes under the title of Gibson guitar, Mel, some kind of guitar guy. He's got like 5 or 6 aliases on. He's probably listening right now. But when he never had cancer. And when he said to me that he was dying, I felt bad. I felt terrible. I did prayer sessions and stuff. And he made everybody look like a fool. He never died. And then what about his wife? His so-called girlfriend, whatever her name was, sting like a bee, smart like a butterfly. What was her name? She wasn't real. There was no woman. There was no woman in Warren's life, ever. It was all made up. He would say, I gotta go, whatever his girlfriend's name was, Mel Gibson. Because as far as I know, Warren is a strange man. Let's say his wife, Mel Gibson, came to the door. You could hear, you'd hear, like that, knocking on the door. But was there really somebody knocking on the door? Or was Warren knocking on the table? I don't know. I gotta go. Mel Gibson's here. Well, let me see her. I want to say hello. No, not now. Not now. Next time. He never showed me that woman. I was on the phone with him 3 or 4 hours a day. He never showed me that woman. He was a liar. He was a fraud. So when Warren said that he had 25 guitars and brought you into a room and showed you 25 guitars, that was real. And then but when he said he was a guitar instructor and he taught people how to play the guitar, people would knock on the door. And he would say, I gotta go. My student is, let me see the student. No, he never showed me a student. Never. I don't know if he was knocking on the table or someone was knocking on the door. Mel Gibson is here, I gotta go. The student is here, I gotta go. Nothing Warren ever said was true. And he never did have cancer. He lied about that. The man, he was a real shut-in. He was a real shut-in. He lied about going to the Australian consulate with videos. He never did that. I believed him. He lied about going to the Australian police with videos. He never did that. He sent me a letter stating that he was a 20-year police veteran in Australia. It couldn't be found. His information couldn't be found out. Scott will confirm that. Scott was the deputy chief of police. He can confirm that Warren was never a police officer. Warren was a total fraud. So now Richie is going to take third-party hearsay from Warren's Skype chat, from a man whose reputation I literally destroyed because he tried to make me to be a liar. Did he say he wanted the second floor? Yes. Did we have a verbal agreement? Yes. And I gave him a due date, a year and a half from the time he said to me he's going to want the second floor. I said to him, on January 8th, if you don't have $80,000 put into my account, then we're just going to forget that we ever met because you're just playing me alone. And on January 8th, no money arrived, and I just said to him, don't talk to me ever again for the rest of your life. I went on YouTube. I made a video saying that Warren was a fraud. Warren was a fraud. I proved that Warren was a fraud, and he came on saying that I was scamming him. And here is who Richie BUANG is going to take excerpts from. Richie BUANG, at first, I'm going to say it again, I felt sorry for you, that you are such an awkward human being, overweight by oh so many pounds. You are obese beyond obese. Your chin starts at your chest over here and ends at your ears. You have some serious health problems, Rich. But I was going to let all that go. But being that you want to make fun of me, Rich, have at it. I am not going to flag your videos. I don't even know if I could. I don't care. I've not flagged a video in 4 or 5 years. I am not going to complain that you put stupid stuff in your videos, because now I know why you do it. You do it because you know you have no Richie BUANG. You know in your heart you have no self-worth or self-esteem. You're probably an underachiever in general, and you lash out at the world by making fun of everybody else. And that's sad, and that would have been okay. I'd have let that go. I have no problem with that. Lots of people like you, Rich. But the fact that you and Big Kevin adhere to the same type of strategy. Let's make fun of Michael Fazio. Let's make fun of Fazio. Let's make fun that he lives in a shack. Let's make fun of the injury to his leg, chronic wound that I've had for years. Let's make fun of that. You're a piece of work, Rich. And that's why I said to you, don't come. I don't want to meet you. Aside from the fact that you, Rich, Rich BUANG, who supplied videos to go against me in a court of law. For that alone, I wouldn't want to meet you. That I didn't say it until last week's community post is a big plus on my behalf. I let it go. But then when I saw what you look like, that was sad, Rich. You are a mess of a human being. You can't articulate with people in your, what you call your realm, bar scene. You have no pizzazz. You have no personality whatsoever. None. Zero. None at all. And I felt bad for you and I let it go. But now you want to make fun of a guy that said total falsehoods, send it to another third party. He posted it on YouTube, and now you request that video to make fun of Foz. Go ahead, post it. Knowing what a mess you are, I could look at that and laugh all day. Knowing what in my opinion, you're a shut-in, I could laugh at that all day. I could laugh at that all day. Knowing that you're a psychological disaster, in my opinion, I could laugh at you all day, Rich. I could laugh at you for the rest of my life. Knowing that you are, can you say any of the things? Have you ever flown a plane? Have you ever operated a crane? Have you ever run a tugboat? Have you ever dumped a scow? Have you ever driven a pile driver? Have you ever raced a Cobra Mustang at the track in Florida? Have you ever raced an ocean racer? What is your diving experience? Have you ever done any cave diving? I did the Devil's Ear and the Devil's Eye in South Florida, South Central Florida. Are you a diver, Rich? Are you a diver? Are you certified? Nowie, Patty, what is your certification? No, you're not. I would say you're not. I would just say that you are just a regular guy moving your way through life, that you found a niche in life making fun of other people, and Michael Fazio is your battering board. Well, have at it, Rich. I promise you I won't flag your videos, and I'm the one that could. I promise you I won't get your channel taken down. If I could, I don't know. I promise I won't do that. Have at it, Rich. Have at it. Because for what little that you have going on in your life, I still feel sorry for you. And looking at you, you got to feel sorry for you, Rich. It's like looking at a puppy dog. And you're not a puppy dog, though. You have malicious and evil intent in your heart, which when you lash out at people, your intent is to destroy another person's reputation, because you yourself have no self-worth. Rich, you have no self-worth, so you have to knock everybody else down. I'm the most accomplished person on YouTube in the Philippine genre, by far. Some people have a lot more money. None of anybody on YouTube comes close to having the life experiences that I've had. None of you. And that was only the things I could talk about. Have you hung out with did you grow up in Howard Beach, where some of the most famous people in the world came from Howard Beach? Did you grow up 3 blocks away from Arlo Guthrie and watch Arlo play at the park? And did you grow up 2 blocks away from Vitas Gerulaitis? And since I was 6 or 7 years old, Vitas Gerulaitis walked past my house every day with a guy named Tommy and practiced tennis with a racket. I didn't even know what a tennis racket was. I didn't know who Vitas Gerulaitis was. But I saw him every day of my life. And I saw his sister every day of my life as I got older, in our teens and early 20s. And I watched him become one of the most famous tennis players in the world. And I knew him since we were children. Have you done that, Rich? Have you any personalities? I could name some personalities that I grew up with and hung out with. They make movies about the people I grew up with. But I won't. But did you do that, Rich? No. What do we have of Rich BUANG? We have a person that's shy around women, to put it mildly, and that makes fun of everybody else. A person that doesn't really know how to articulate his way around the bar scene, but is in bars. A person that knows the name of every bar in Manila and Thailand, and yet doesn't know how to move around inside a bar. You're like a fish out of water, Rich. But you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. Have at it. I'm not going to flag your videos. I'm not going to take your channel down. I'm going to let you have what little fun that you are capable of. And the same goes for Kevin. We didn't forget about Kevin. You two guys are like 2 peas in a pod. Listening to you try to speak an entire sentence, Rich, I was almost crying when I listened to the way you talk. There's something your speech is not smooth at all. I don't know what causes that. I don't think you were drunk, but you might have been drunk. And I don't know what it is, nor do I care. But you are nothing compared to the people that you knock down. And that's why you knock them down, so you could feel better about yourself. Let's go back here and see if we got any answers. Okay. Freebird, sad to say. Okay, so let's go. Warren never had cancer, nor did he die. And I know that last one for a fact, says Freebird, because the waffle flipper said he saw him. I don't know if that's true or not. But I do remember that the waffle flipper said that he saw Warren. I remember that year, a couple of years back. So Freebird, what Freebird said is what I also remember, but I don't know that he did see Warren. But I know for a fact, what was Warren's girlfriend's name? I'm sure we got it by now. Arthur Yellow. I think most of the participants on YouTube know what an attention seeker Warren was. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, after I destroyed his reputation, he had nowhere to go. Did he ever come back? You know, Warren caused me more grief on YouTube than any other single person. By far. And especially, you know, I was sent Warren's correspondence on Skype. I don't know how many pages of that crap there was, but I was sent that information. I never read it. But why would I read it? Warren was you know how much, after, when I realized Warren was a fraud, you know how much, first of all, I blocked him on Skype. Second of all, I never talked to him again when I realized, when I said to him on January 8th, if that money's not in my account, then we're not going to be building a hotel. I'm never going to talk to you again because you wasted a year and a half of my life talking to you every day. Floor tiles. What color is the kitchen cabinets? What kind of faucets Warren wanted? What is the color of the paints that were available? What kind of lighting? He used to ask me a question about what he could get for the second floor every day. And if I went to the city, I'd look it up. But he was a fraud. And when I realized that, enough was enough. You just cut ties with him. He was a complete, he is Richie BUANG on steroids, Warren was. Richie BUANG is just a sad, lonely person that makes fun. Warren, he created entire epic stories. I have cancer. I have children that died in a car crash. I had a wife that died in a car crash. I was a police officer. I was a volunteer fireman, radio operator. I had a wood shop. Everything was a lie with Warren. Everything. Sad to say, I wasn't always a free bird. Jack Thompson. Never trust a man that's never been arrested. Come on. That's probably more true than not. That's probably true. When I grew up, it depended on what you got arrested for. But where I grew up, when my Uncle Frankie, my godfather, when he got arrested, when he took over Jimmy Hoffa's position in the Teamsters Union in Kennedy Airport, Frank Kalise, Kalise, Frank Kalise, they pronounce it. Frank Kalise, he was the shop steward for the Teamsters Union in Kennedy Airport. After Jimmy Hoffa became concrete, my godfather took that position over. So when he got arrested, there was a freaking party in back of his house it was like an extravaganza when he got out of jail. After he got out of jail, then he did 8 years in prison. But I think it was 8, could have been 6, because he was a criminal. They celebrate that kind of stuff. In Howard Beach, they celebrate that kind of stuff because they know you're going away. But he didn't give anybody up. He went to jail. I don't remember how long it was. 8 years, 12 years, something like that. Going back into the 70s. I remember him coming over, talking to my dad, saying, Tommy, they want me to take over the shop steward job at Kennedy Airport. and that Jimmy Hoffa's going to disappear. And my dad is saying, because my dad grew up with Frankie. Frankie Calise, Bobby Calise, and my dad, they grew up next door to each other from 1929 onward. Frankie was about 6 years younger, but Bobby was my dad's age. Bobby, his older brother, and the families were friends. So he said, Frank, if you do that, you're in, you're in it at that point. You're in it, because Frankie was just a truck driver, but he was the shop steward, the local shop steward. Then he became the head of the Teamsters at Kennedy Airport. So I remember, and my dad said, you're going to end up in jail. He goes, yeah, but in between now and then. I remember the conversation. In between now and then, it's going to be a lot of fun. And he would gamble. He was gambling $50,000 on a junket at Atlantic City. They'd fly him out to Vegas. He partied his butt off, man. He partied his, and if you run, hey, Chubba Wubba, if you run Frank Calise, run Frank Calise Sr. Frank Calise Jr. is a little bit younger than me, probably 62. That's the son, okay? So run the father, not the son, okay? Rob Chubba Wubba, we know that you're such a great researcher, moron that you are. So, Jack Thompson, once one of the Green Machines, still a former Marine. Jack Thompson. Now, Jack Thompson is here, and we should all wish him well, because Jack Thompson has been very sick. No, all kidding aside, I called Jack numerous times over the last week. I don't actually believe Jack can talk. I don't think he can talk right now. I hope that gets better, Jack. So if you are a praying person, then send out a couple of notes for Jack Thompson, because he was, I'm not going to say how sick he was, but he's lucky to be here today, that's for sure. Okay, so let's move back to the comments. I floated a toy boat down the gutter. That's right. That's about how far some of these guys have gotten in real life. They have no boating. You think that I'm lying, okay? I could go to the port of Tagbilaran right now. If they let me run the to-go fast boat, I could run that boat right now, today. Dock it. Take off, turn it around, and dock it. It's all, they got bow thrusters, they got stern thrusters, they got twin screws. You could do anything with those boats. But you got to have the master's license to do that. But I am the only person on YouTube in my genre, the Philippine genre. I am the only person that could say right now, if we had $1 million to wager, if I could get into that boat, take it off the dock, and then redock the boat. None of you could do that. And I could do it the first time out. Give me 20 minutes in the harbor to play with the bow thrusters and forward and reverse, because you just got to get used to it. And I could run the to-go fast boat. No problem. I've run boats that big, or almost that big, my dad ran 135-foot tugboats, 10,000 horsepower engines. You want to play? Here. I'm going downstairs to have dinner. And I would go out and play with the tugboat, which play means that I'm attached to a scow, and I got to bring the scow into New York Harbor. No problem. See, because I know how to do that. None of you people could do that. Rich, can you do that? Can you run a tugboat, Rich? No. Can you repair a diesel engine, Rich? No. Sorry to pick on you, Rich, but after what I saw, you wanted to make fun of me. You're in it deep now, Rich. Press the thumbs up button. Michael doesn't care. Michael never cared. Thanks, Scott. Dennis Adam pushes the thumbs up button. Thank you, Dennis. Hey, Dennis. How are you, brother? I hope all is great. Scott Del Fuego is showing a sad face. Peter V. Ego took mushrooms on camera in Amsterdam a year ago and was never the same after that. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, I got to get down here. Somehow this thing jumped up. Warren never had cancer. Sad to say, I wasn't always a free bird. Jack Thompson once... Oh, Peter V. I know what I wanted to tell you, Peter V. I don't know if it's true or not, but I remember specifically hearing that a certain blogger with a big ego was in the military service, and that he was a sniper with X amount of things that snipers do. I remember hearing that from his mouth. And then I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said he was never in the service. So can anybody clear that up? Was he in the service? Because I remember him saying he was in the service and he had done some horrific things. But I don't know if it's true or not. It said that if he wasn't in the service, that I heard him say that. And he'll say, I never said that. So it's he said, she said. But I remember him saying he was in the service and he was a sniper. And he had so many X amount of things that he did. And then I was talking to somebody 2 days ago. No, he was never in the service. So anybody know if the giant egomaniac was in the service or not? Oh, yeah. And he also said he graduated from Stanford University. And no one can find his records. So he's another Warren on steroids, but in a different direction. Scott says, I like Evinrude's and Merck's. Well, yeah, I mean, Evinrude, Johnson, Merck's, Suzuki. Suzuki came out with a motor in the 70s. Everybody laughed at it. Now they're a hot item. Jack Thompson says, Rich most likely lived a sedentary lifestyle working at a 7-Eleven. And that's okay, but he has to knock me down? I'm not going to let that happen. He's the one that's responsible for the videos that went against me that got dismissed in a court of law. So he actually helped somebody try to put me in jail. And then he wants to come and meet me? I don't think so. You think I forgot about that, Rich? You think I forgot about that aspect of your past, Rich? The best thing for you to do, Rich, is don't come to visit me. I don't want to see you. I don't even want to hear your voice. That's the best thing for you to happen, okay? Because there's nothing that you and I have to discuss. Scott says he's done a ton of editing and posting of YouTube videos making fun of people. That's right. And you know what? I'm going to make a prediction. He's going to stop doing that. Now that everybody knows what he looks like, and how he actually is in real life, and how embarrassed he is, in my opinion, of what he looks like and how he acts in public, I bet you his video editing days. And I can also tell you, Rich, listen very carefully, Rich. Listen very carefully, Rich. Listen very carefully, Rich. How? Go back and review the video where you were exposed. Your face and persona was exposed. Think about that, Rich. Was it an accident? Really? Rich, you have no clue. If you don't see the truth in what I just asked you, you have no clue what's going on around you. You have no self-awareness. You have nothing. All you have is your petty little editing skills to knock other people down to make you feel better. And that's not much, Rich. Think about this. I'll say it again. Think about the moment that your face was seen for the first time. Watch the video. Watch how it happened. Watch. And then you can judge for yourself why it happened. Why it happened. You need to really take a good, strong look at that, Rich. Because if you haven't, then you are so unaware of your surroundings that it's pretty sad to think that you make fun of me. You make fun of me. You, Rich, you make fun of me. And you don't have a clue as to how you got exposed. Rich BUANG. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. But it happened. Jack Thompson is making comments. His eyes are staring at each other. The pelican and the... Jack, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know. Okay, Jack Thompson, the pelican, and Michael doesn't lie and doesn't pay for Panoisha. No, that's another thing. You guys are out there paying for women to talk to you. Come on, man. Come on. Are you serious? You actually pay for a woman to talk to you? I could easily do without. But the few friends I have, he's always talking to somebody on YouTube. He's always calling up Scott and Jack and Lewis and John Blaze, and he's always trying to talk to people because he's lonely. But wait a minute. Most of you guys, you don't even do blogging. You just talk into a phone. So I'm talking to real people, and you're talking into a phone. Who's a better blogger? Of course, I am. Who's the best blogger on YouTube? Of course, I am. I'm the only one that puts out verifiable, truthful information on YouTube. All the rest of you guys, all you do is talk about each other. You don't do anything else. He talks about him, he talks about him, he talks about him. They talk about them, they talk about that person talks about that person. Another person interviews that person, they interview the person doesn't tell the truth, and then they put that non-truth out on the internet so that you could give your opinion about the non-truth, knowing that it was a lie to begin with. The truth is not the truth that was posted in the video. The truth is something altogether different. It's there in factual evidence. That's all you people got. Do you have anybody putting out drone videos in the Philippine genre besides me? Anybody walking on beaches? Anybody doing videos about custom? Anybody doing anything? Dive? Well, I can't dive anymore. But anybody that did dive videos or snorkeling videos or anything like that? Anybody doing any of that stuff? No. All you do is talk about other people. That's not Philippines vlogging. And now you got a new guy that was exposed who he was, who he is, and he did not want to be exposed. And does he even know how it happened? Probably not, because I don't think he's that smart. I think he has good editing skills, but I don't give him a high IQ at all. Bill West. Rich is getting trashed. Hey, Bill West, thank you for stopping by. I like what you have to say, Bill West. I always like what you have to say. I love what Bill West has to say. He's on other channels. He's always spewing the truth. Bill West doesn't let a single thing go by without saying the truth. And he doesn't get blocked for it, but he moves around the truth in ways that nobody else can. I like what Bill West has to say. You are one smart dude, Bill West. The way you manipulate the conversation without getting blocked, and you do it all the time. Bill West is a person that goes on other channels and knocks them down intelligently and doesn't get blocked. Thanks for stopping by, Bill. Bill West. Never, I've seen you here before, but last week during the phone, let's call it the phone convention, Bill West was spewing truths left and right. How many of those we didn't see, who knows? But I would bet that Bill West had more than one or two comments taken down before we got to see them. Bill West, rich is getting trashed, and no, I'm just talking the truth, and the truth is the truth. Can any of you people out there run a tugboat? Any of you? Just tell me you can do it. Wager me money that you guys can run an 85-foot tugboat. Wager me big money. Big money. Let's wager. And we'll go to the harbor and we'll rent a tugboat. And you're going to lose. You're going to lose. I will bury you in nautical knowledge for running heavy equipment on the ocean. I will bury you using bow thrusters and stern thrusters. I will bury you in my ability to take off from a dock and land on a dock. I'll put the rear quarter on the dock. I'll put a snatch line on or a spring line on. I'll run the nose of the boat, the port quarter up to the barge. We'll snap that spring line tight. We'll put a nose, a bow. Well, I can't say the word, but a head, a rope from the head of the boat to the barge, and we'll back off on that. We'll have two tight lines, and we'll move that barge around the harbor. You people don't even know what I said, a snatch line or a spring line. Somebody on here, you want to tell me what a spring line is, all you geniuses out there? What is a spring line? What is the purpose of a spring line when making a tow? How does a spring line work? Somebody tells you put a spring line on, make a spring line up to the rear quarter of that barge, and then come up to the head cleat and put up snatch the front starboard quarter. Snatch it. What does that mean, snatch the front starboard quarter? Snatch it means I'm going to put a lot of strain on the spring line, and you're going to throw a line onto the cleat on the barge, and we're going to wrap 6 wraps on the head cleat. And we're going to snatch it, and then we're going to have 2 tight lines. Anybody out there can do that? None of you can do it. None of you know how to do it. Even I watch me do it, you can't do it. What do you people have to offer? Nothing. Scott Del Fuego. Jack Thompson says, one eye is going to the store and the other is coming back for change. Yeah, you know what? I could, you know what, Jack, I'm going to be honest with you. I was watching that video live. I recorded it. I have it right here. I have it. I could show it to you. I have that video recorded, but when I saw the man, I felt so sorry for the guy. I couldn't watch any more of it. I could not watch it. I felt sad for him, but now I don't. I don't. So let me see if I can find it. Here it is right here. 2 hours, 35 minutes, 15 seconds. I'll show you the part where you got exposed, Rich. I don't remember the part exactly. Here's that absolutely beautiful young lady you were talking to. What a pretty girl that is, yeah? Here's the video. Okay, now I'm going to turn this back and I'll show you where you got exposed, Rich. Very sad the way that happened. It's at the 1 hour and 34 minute mark on my video. There you are. How did that happen, Rich? How did that happen? Oh my God. And what do? You want to know how my memory is? What do you do when you see the camera facing the mirror? You check, Rich BUANG. You check to see, am I in that video? I watched every moment of that with glee because I was waiting to see what you look like, just to see who was making fun of me. And look who's making fun of Fazio. Look at that. Look at that man right there. That young man. Look at that young man. He's looking at that camera, looking at him, looking at the camera. Oh my God. So Rich, I also copy videos down, but I don't have the skill set that you do. But I'm going to tell you something, Rich. Oh, I got to turn this around. I'm going to tell you something, Rich. Watching you get exposed, in my opinion, the way that happened, sad. And you know it. You knew it then. You know it now. That was no accident, dude. So if you don't think, and I only watched it one time, and immediately after that, I don't know what I was doing. I let it run for a while, and then I saw you at the end. What, throwing butterfly kisses? I don't know what the hell that was. Throwing butterfly kisses at that beautiful young lady? That was amazing. You are really awkward when it comes to that. But that's okay. But you want to make fun of Michael Fazio. I could move into that environment and feel comfortable with that environment, but it's not something I would do because I'm not a shut-in. I'm a pretty much outgoing person. I could fit into that kind of an environment because I grew up in working in bars, going to bars, hanging out in discotheques, hanging out with people that built big business bars, and that I built the bars for the people. And I just grew up, but I don't do that anymore because I realize it's not what I enjoy doing. But you, on the other hand, you were set up, dude. And we'll leave it at that. Let's go back to my my blog here. Foz, Jack, and Scott. DNC is in the house. Thanks for stopping by, DNC. I appreciate that. I really do. I love it when you stop by. I wish there's only a few people I'd want to meet. You're one of them. I want to meet Flying Circus. I want to meet DNC. I want to meet Scott. I'd love to meet Dennis. Jack, of course. I've met John Blaze. He's pretty cool. And a few other people. But, you know, and you people go, Fazio doesn't have any friends. And you show me how you can have friends in the Philippines. Show me how. What do we have in common with the average Filipino? There's no place to go bowling, so that's not an option. On the beach, Filipinos have families. They don't know me as a foreigner. They don't really want you around. Now, my local Philippines, that's cool. They don't mind me hanging around. But for the most part, Filipinos don't associate with foreigners. Now, my neighbors, yes. Yesterday I had breakfast. Well, I went over while my landlord was having breakfast. So, because yesterday is rent day, and I dropped off the rent. They never have to ask me for the rent. So, but they asked me to come in and have some coffee with them, but I said, no, I have to go to the doctor, to the hospital, and also to pick up my boots. So, but I mean, I'm friends with the locals, but what can you have? What do we have in common with the Filipinos? Not much. When I was in the hospital yesterday, I waited 5 hours for my ciprofloxacin medicine. Okay, it's an antibiotic. It's the only one that gets the infection out of my leg. I talked with every Filipino in the hallway about numbers. I was number 38. I was the last person on the list to get in to see the doctor. One lady was 22. I remember lady number 22. Number 23 was there. Number 25 walked in later. She was out having lunch. Number 29 came in and we were all talking about the numbers because they couldn't understand. They couldn't understand why I'm number 38, right? I'm number 38. You had number 22, 23, 25, 29, 31, 33, and 35, right? I'm the highest number. I'm the highest number. And they were serving from numbers 1 onward. Some of the numbers were missing. Okay, so you got number 21, right? And I'm sitting next to 21. And 22 was next to her. 23 was across one chair. 25 was to my right, about 3 people down. But she didn't walk in until after lunch. 29 was far away. 35 was not so far away, 3 people away. On my side, I couldn't really see her because there was no number was between me and her. So I'm sitting there like this. What number are you, ma'am? I'm number 22. 22. You do realize I'm number 38, right? Yes, sir. Number 38. 38 is a bigger number, right? Yes, sir. 38 is a big number, right? Yes. It's a big number. D'accord. Big. Yes, sir. It's a big number. She couldn't see. I said, I tell you what. I will give you number 38 if you give me that little tiny number 21. Then she understood where I was going. Whereas an American may get the picture before I asked her to switch numbers. So then, number 22 was next to her. So they were laughing. At that point, they were laughing. So number 22, I said, look, she's not getting the big. I'm number 38, you're number 22. I will sell this number to you for 1,000 pesos. Then I had them going. Because, but other than humor, and very, shallow humor at that, I had everybody in the hallway laughing. But not as much as when I said to them, because we could see out the window. You see those clouds out there? And you could see out the window from through a door that we were looking through. See the clouds? Yes, sir. After they wouldn't give me the number. Does that look like snow clouds to you? And they're looking at each other like this. Like, what the heck is he talking about? And what the heck am I talking about? Talking about something bizarro stuff. But it made them laugh. At me, it made them laugh. That's okay. But they think that I thought that it was going to snow out because I'm looking at the clouds asking them, are those snow clouds? It takes... They have a different sense of humor. They took it literally that I believed it was going to snow. Before the end of the 5 hours that I waited online, I had them all laughing about some stupid thing I was doing. And then every time somebody walked in to the hallway, we were in a hallway, close. What number are you, ma'am? I'm number 32. Number 32? Oh my God, that's such a small number. And then they would all start laughing. This is number 38. I will trade you for number 38 for number 32. And everybody would be laughing in the hallway. The Filipinos would be laughing because now they know the joke. And then they would say something in Visaya, and then that lady, number 32, would laugh as well. But you got to be on your toes here in the Philippines. When you spout some kind of funny thing, you got to remember their culture is different than ours. So moving past that, what do we have in common in real life? What do we have in common with the Filipinos? When I go to the parties, I know everybody. I know all the jeepney drivers. I know all the conductors. I know everybody in the mall. All the police say hello. All the security guards say hello. But that's it. It can't go much further than that. Because there's really not much to comment. There's nothing to do here. If I had a boat, pay attention, if I had a boat, I'm boatless right now, and I don't like that. But if I had a boat, then they would all want to partake in the festivities. But that would be something that we could do together. But I don't have a boat. But if I had a boat, they would want to, there'd be something that we could do that would be in common. Maybe go to a reef or something like that, or swim off the beach, you know, just outside the reef. But I don't have a boat. So really not much you could do. And when they're building boats on the beach, and I tell them, you know, not for nothing, but, you know, if you do it like this, it's going to be a lot better and faster. Nope, they won't do it. Well, 38 years I'm in construction. I have 11 federal and state licenses that Chubba Wubba doesn't believe or can't find because he's not intelligent enough to look for them. And 38 years I'm in construction. I try to tell somebody how to cut a piece of wood, put it on a sawhorse, put it on a table. No, they cut it on their knee. They hold the board on their knee and they cut it. It might take 10 minutes, but if they put it on a sawhorse, it might take 2 minutes. They don't do it. They don't want to hear it. That's the Filipino way. It takes 5 times longer. There's nothing that most foreigners have in common with the Filipinos. Nothing. So when I talk to them, it's hello and how you doing and a couple of jokes. You're Tambok. They call me Tambok. I tell them, no, I am Skinny Niwang. We laugh, and that's it. We move on for the rest of the day. Back to the comments. Scott says, because I'm sure Philippine plugs use only foreigner to be a lookout so they can get most attention to their operations as possible. No foreigner would have anything to do with that. And in fact, I could tell you a story where I lived up the block before I moved here. I lived in a Filipina woman's house whose husband was Italian. And the guy who lived in the apartment before I moved in, oh, he was bad into that stuff, really bad. They put that stuff out on the street about that guy. If you do anything illegal in the Philippines, they're going to put that right out on the street for everybody to know. Everybody. Did you know so-and-so? I never met him. I never heard of him. He's not a blog. Oh, yeah, he was this and he was that. And he had people in and out of the house all day and night. They will rat you out in a heartbeat. You don't do anything illegal here in the Philippines. Moving back to the comments. Faz, Jack, and Scott says DNC. Jack Thompson giving DNC beer muscles. Nice hat, DNC. Scott, it's my Scambola hat. Finger and thumb. That's right, baby. Scott says, Mancoism by internet is a form of mental disorder. Munchausen. I don't know what that is. Munchausen syndrome, whereby people pretend to be a victim of a tragedy. Okay. Or sick, in fact, make themselves sick to gain attention and sympathy. Okay, so that's Warren. Oh my God, that's Warren up and down. Warren. What, you know what? Talking about up and down, I'll be back. I got to get a drink of water. So let's. Well, no, not yet. Let's get. Yeah, it'll only take a minute. There you go. You could watch my my lag time. Oh. Yeah, I need some nice ice cold water. I'm gonna rinse my face. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, yeah, baby. I've been talking for almost 20 minutes now. I've been blogging for a solid 20 minutes. Maybe even longer than that. I haven't kept track. I'm gonna get ice water now, baby. Uh-oh. I don't have any uniced water. I have ice. Ice, I have. There's a big lag time on that video, yeah? I'm back. Okay. I have a solid chunk of ice right here. And I have water here. I need, you know what? I got a half a bottle. Should I or shouldn't I? I'll wait for the comments. Should I down that bottle? Half a bottle of water? Like I'm a real man? Okay, let's go back to the comments. Munchausen by internet is a form of mental disorder. Munchausen. That's Warren all the way. Warren was a very sick man. And when I realized that he was just pulling my leg, so to speak, I cut that. I said, January 8th, Warren, you either have the money or we never talk again. And you know what? Without nothing more or no handshake, no nothing, I would have kept my word and built a second floor on the hotel. The first floor would have been empty. Warren would have had a place to live, and I could have put curtains up on pilings. But that guy had a deadline of January 8th, and I said, if we don't have that money in my bank account by January 8th, never talking to you again. And that upset him, big time. That upset him, because he needed that attention. And that was, in and of itself, that alone is sick. That you have to lie to somebody for a year and a half. But it was a well-planned. I mean, he did, in fact, give me $2,500. That he did. And that was all part of, so that I could, the computer I had was no good. And the computer, I needed a computer to do business, to buy and sell stuff, or to buy stuff for the hotel. So he gave me the money for a hotel, the computer, to look for stuff and whatnot. He did do that, but I said to him, January 8th, you need to put that money. Warren was a complete fraud. Moving back to the comments. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. Time for my pill. I'm taking ciprofloxacin. The infection came back on my leg. I went to the doctor's yesterday. I got 3. That is one nasty tasting chemical. 3 times a day, ciprofloxacin. Where is my magnifying glass? Here it is. There it is not. I must have took it outside. Okay. No magnifying glass. I probably put, you know what, I was working out in the shop. 500 milligram ciprofloxacin 3 times a day, 2 pills by themselves between 8 o'clock last night, 4 o'clock in the morning. The swelling in my foot is almost gone. The wound that was just dripping ever so slightly, that stopped and it dried up completely. And my calf muscle, which is normally 17 inches, was 23 inches. It swelled up 6 inches in diameter. From 17 inches to 23 inches, it swelled up in overnight. And then I went to the hospital, and then since last night, I don't know, back down to about 18 inches. So the infection, when it comes back fast. One day, your foot is like a yesterday, the size 14 Merrell boot that I bought, the hiking boots. Yesterday, my foot fit in the boot. Barely, size 14. But today, it would slip right in, no problem. So, my left foot takes a size 12 and a half. I have, only because my feet are very wide, very wide. I have flat feet, and they're very wide. So, my left foot would fit into this boot very comfortably, loose, but my right foot yesterday barely fit in, but this morning I put them on from the infection went down. So that, oh, there's the magnifying glass right there. Okay, I put it with my outside tools. So 500 milligram, right? Yeah, 500 milligram ciprofloxacin. I got tools that go in, tools that go... Hey, Rich! Hey, Rich, do you have tools? Hey, Rich, do you own any tools? Hey, Richie BUANG, do you have any tools? What tools do you own, Rich? Take us into your shop and show us your tools, Rich. Come on, come on. Come on, don't be shy. Show us your automotive tools. Show us a pair of aviation snips, or show us a rivet gun, or show us something simple, like a digital vernier caliper. Show us something simple, Rich. Come on. Come on, Rich. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, Rich. Show us your digital vernier caliper. Come on, Rich. Don't hold back. Come on, Rich. We know you have a vernier caliper somewhere. We know that. Look, see? Show us how your vernier caliper works. Come on, Rich. Show us your tools. Show us your sheet metal tools. Show me a 3.25 inch snap-on or Blue Point socket with a 1-inch drive. Come on. Show me your hammer drill. Come on, Rich. We know you're such a well-rounded guy. Come on. Show us the jackhammer. Come on, Rich. We know that you got it all, plus you're a video editor, but you want to make fun of Michael Fazio, right? Show us what you do for a living. Like somebody said, Freebird said, you're probably a manager of a 7-Eleven or something like that. Come on, Rich. We're waiting on that. This was a gift from the Scott Del Fuego. And he sent me mayonnaise and a year's supply of mayonnaise, and sent me Worcestershire sauce and mustard and all kinds of goodies, and this was thrown in as well. Very nice gift. Actually, I have that one, and it's better than this one. This is a different vernier caliper. The moisture in the air is making it rusty. See? 2 vernier calipers. Come on, Rich. We know that you have 2 vernier calipers. Everybody has 2, right? Come on, Richie. Show us your vernier caliper. Come on. Come on, Rich. Show us your vernier caliper. Your stainless steel or plastic. Come on. We know that you got it all, Rich. You're a well-rounded type of guy. You're a knock-around type of guy, Rich. Come on. Show us your vernier caliper. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy. Show us why we should all love you. Show us your come on. Show us your open-end box wrench, the set of open-end box wrench. Just show us your toolbox. Do you have a rollaway, Rich? Oh, show us that roll. Do you have a drill press, Rich? Oh, I don't think so. Come on, Rich. Show us that drill press that you got. Come on. Hey, you have any 3-foot long, 1.5-inch auger bits? Come on. You must have those. You had to build decks and docks and bulkheads, right, Rich? Come on. Show us what you got, buddy. I felt like I dumped a Scott once after I ate 2 burritos, says Scott Del Fuego. That's what I felt like after I ate that cabbage the other day, Scott. God, you guys want to see cabbage? There's no such thing, Jack. Says DNC. I missed where that was going. 2 burritos.